Game, but still, they must have bounced back. Maybe they found some form, got a shock off the rust, you know, and they came back.
Even more interesting is you see here, so the first day of the EU division, we saw 16-5 in favor of FaZe. Yeah. They then proceeded to play them on the same map, Mirage, in the what was it called? The Star Ladder S2 Europe qualifier, and we actually saw them win 16-4.
Yep.
Like, I don't understand. Janko, have you seen examples of this before? Just before I do answer that question. First day, FaZe do have that top spot, and VP did manage to kind of break the curse early by picking up an early win and making it 1-1, of course, managing to get over that nuke defeat versus NIP. That was the second game of the day.
Yeah, why do they keep playing nuke?
Why did it crop up?
Yeah. Well, I guess in this veto section is a little bit harder. Yes. You get one ban each, right? But still, like the fact, 2 bans though. Okay, but then still, the fact that we watch them play nuke and they just don't seem like they're prepared on it. They have good default. Swedes from Epsilon, and what a perfect replacement for him. He's actually showing he can play tier 1 CS and keep up with the big boys, which is pretty difficult task to do coming from his sort of level. So very impressive.
Yeah, and it was a discussion that was often had, you know, with the fact that CS in one iteration or another had been around for so many years, that the people questioned how open it was to rising stars. How open it was.
We saw there in certain aspects, the way they were hitting that B side, they found the weakness, they exploited it quite well. Again, Keo was struggling to deal with it.
Sure.
Alu didn't have much of a better time either. So there is a lot of potential on this Team X lineup. I think it would be inconsiderate to say there isn't. So again, I want to be keeping my eyes on what they can bring here. They're on those custom maps, so maybe this could be something we see them really finding comfort in. Again, however, you're still against NIP, and they've shown that they do have some decent play at the moment coming through there, looking competitive already. Freiburg, you know, had a map, he had a good performance overall, but it was Nuke where he really did actually step ahead, and of course Disco Dolpan as well, Doplan, excuse me. So, why don't you take us away?
Right, into the pistol here as well. We can see, of course, a bit of a setup here for Team X. I'm probably going to call them XSK a couple times, ladies and gentlemen, mostly because that's what they're listed as here, as it is their ESEA team name. But Valde was the first one to receive contact there as well after Snappy finds Forest, and it will be Modi, the most forward player on the side, and that's not really saying much there at all. You can see that, well, Team X are actually a long way back away from this one. It's an easy plant here in Freiburg, more like Freeburg. The guys playing a few pistol kills in there as well, and Glaive on his lonesome.
Well, you know, Yanko did say most people can't just walk into a site, get 3 kills. Well, he's got 4.
Yeah.
You know, it is the pistol round. It's a good start, but for a player who, of course, does get a lot of criticism, I can imagine for him it's really nice to get that big start, you know, get that confidence going early. This was actually something that was discussed quite recently, is the fact of, you know, certain players really do get that confidence boost, maybe getting these eco frags in. That obviously wasn't particularly to that sort of strain, but for him, probably a nice little...
Would you call Freiburg that kind of momentum player?
I think if you come under enough criticism, it's always nice to get off to a good start, you know what I mean? So they're going straight up towards the rifle. There's actually 3 coming out here to play with the UMP and the MAC-10 to support Get Right and Forest at the bottom there, trying to build up that money. And it looks like just a relatively default-esque round. You've still got Freiburg and Doppler just waiting for that push out, see if there's anyone rushing out of A. No such luck here, and they can just slowly work their way throughout the map. But no real stack from Team X either. They've got a decent purchase back into the Snappy's got that UMP as well, so they can certainly contest this round quite nicely.
Modi would have been forced back very early on there, and it's going to be Get Right to open up the account. And speaking of cash money, of course, the MAC-10 going to be yielding a little bit of extra for him as well. So, and up, he would ideally like him to be the one getting the frags, and so far, things are playing out just that way. Now, Snappy has himself a UMP himself here, interestingly enough, but he's all the way over on A.
And Valde is a bit baffled. He knew there was someone by drop, and it's just ring a roses with Get right now. But the sad fact being, they've taken over B, and now Valde's on the other side. He's kind of left just watching as it happens. Probably just going to posture for exits at absolute best here. I doubt there's going to be much of a contest coming through. Just going to sit right here outside that window. Again, Snappy as well had that UMP over by A, so I doubt he wants to lose it either, as the next round would be pretty much worse than this for them. So if they can keep hold of this, that'd be good. If they get a couple of exits, even better. But you're going to see them going hunting. Forest can do it as well. He's got the UMP to hand. He's going to actually find both of them as well. Exist and Forest clean it up. And well, for Team X, they're going to have to come in with a very clean round here. Yeah,
Snappy and Valde hoping to pick up a little bit of extra money to carry them through this economic wasteland, I guess, for the next round at the very least here. You can see. Not going to be buying up too much here at all. Freeze obviously hoping to head towards an AWP as soon as possible at his convenience, but it's only been Snappy to get the kills thus far. And IP have 2 on the board now as well. No big change-ups weapon-wise here as well. You're going to see Get Right stay with the MAC-10, and again, the UMP being picked up here for Forest exists as the Galil, and much the same approach here as well, except the stack now for Team X over towards B.
I want to see if they actually start using these mollies as well. There is that stack to B, so these mollies could be brilliant at just clearing some of these corners, and you can see almost every single player is basically facing off statue. That's a lot of damage if someone just peeks out. If they just step out into this, there's actually, you know, a couple of shots here, you're probably going to get picked up. Exist is going to be the first to walk the gauntlet, but the flash did come through, denies one. They're peeking one by one. It's allowing so much room for Existence to do that. Sheer and utter precision comes out, and really that stack didn't really pay off. They find one, but that Galil could be recovered if they want it. Snappy's got a chance to do something, but it's Get Right he finds with that MAC-10, so ideally not the target you want to be taking down, and the Galil gets recovered for Forest.
Yeah, of course, the UMP there just being traded in. Forest more than happy to grab the Galil here, and NIP are in no hurry to really splash in cash, Lauren. Forest may buy up something here as well to 5-7. There's an AK for him this round, so 3 AKs coming in.
And Get Right is sticking on the MAC-10. I'm wondering if he's going to go straight towards drop. He's got actually quite a nice spawn for it as well, so he might just, you know, barrel straight in there. But, you know, he's still got utility. He can still clear out these corners, smoke off one of the sides. I'm not sure how he's going to utilize this, actually, just kind of barreling through. And this was the infamous thing that got everyone's attention, was that NIP fast setup for B. It allows the 2 players to go straight out almost. Those smokes are generally in play by then. However, it looks a little bit slower than usual. Here they come now. Actually, Get Right's got a really nice forward position. There's those smokes coming in. He's already down and out. He's going to be trying to push towards drop. And this is a nice position, but Glaive's found Freiburg, so this isn't going to be easy, but the MAC-10 still finds one. Glaive goes, but it's down to 43 in favor to Team X.
That's right. Valde gets himself a quick couple there over on the statue, and now Forest with a heck of a lot of work to do. Freeze lovingly caressing the AWP he saved up for the last few rounds, and now Forest, well, he'd like to try and plant, but there are far too many people in this vicinity for him to be able to do that.
No one's expecting this. There was the one danger of no one actually looking at that corner. I don't think they'd expect him to go through the smokes. There's like 2 players pushing up towards site, but still, that was dealt with.
The switch there from Get Right as well. You saw him going towards B platform and then sort of cut back through towards drop room. Didn't quite work out there, though, as well. I think he got himself a couple, but the rest of NIP were cut down en route to the site.
Normally, NIP, when they do that sort of hit, they go straight out towards statue. It kind of sets them up for it almost. So maybe he was trying to catch it off by that rock, by the kind of side position, just watching for that. Didn't really work out, and we actually have someone playing up in the tower, Forest. I guess they can just leave him here as that kind of beacon almost, of just being able to watch the back. He still has Disco Doppler with him as well, kind of playing by the staircase. And the vast majority of NIP are posturing towards that B side, but really non-committal at the moment. They're really deep on this, maybe expecting some aggression.
I don't know if Forrest is going to fire shots or let down his golden hair, but it looks like he has left the turret and heading now back to join the rest of NIP here as well, who have been playing this one fairly ponderously. It'll be Glaive with the first man to probably receive first contact at this stage, but NIP, again, no hurry to push down on towards his B platform. A bit of work towards drop room here as well. You can see the foundations being laid with a bit of utility, and already Existed taking a bit of damage here as well. You can see Team X, Valde especially, front and center. He's ready to receive any sort of unwelcome guests in from drop room.
Yeah, and Freeze and Snappy are not rotating off of A. They're still not sure where the commitment is. However, giving up drop room here allows Get Right to get some control building, and they can start working towards it. They're forcing Team X to play more, I guess, predictable positions. People like Forest and Exist can start looking towards this. Get Right holds off the angle. They know that there's no one close towards that little kind of broken wall there. Valde, though, going on the peak. The flash actually didn't work. So again, he's still doing fine, but they're looking for that opportunity to start this one up here in OP, and really Team X are weathering the storm so far. Glaive's in a good spot if he can make something out of this.
And again, he's in that decent position. The first time we've seen him sit here as well, and the rest of NIP might just expose themselves here. Only Exists when he's looking towards his corner. He was a low player. He still gets the kill. With only a small amount of health left. It's just 2, but Valde now as well. He's on drop room duty. He himself going quite low, but at least there's Freeze. He chimes in there as well. Coming in from Connector, but Exists responds. And now it's just 2 players here left for Team X. And Snappy has got a long walk to get back here. Valde is looking worse for wear. And now, of course, lacking life as well.
Yeah, Snappy was really late to this. Again, the clock has run down incredibly fast, so maybe just weighing up both options in case maybe they tried to go the A hit, but what can he do now? He's in a 1v3. Exist is actually pretty low, but Forest still has the AWP. There's no step towards the site. That was quite a messy round, actually, and a very slow pace from NIP coming out there.
It looked like Team X sort of had it on lock there as well. I mean, Freeze getting picked at connector doors or double doors, sorry, there by Forest walking on the side. Probably something you want to avoid, especially it's a power position for an alt player, especially as the T side is actually making their way onto that site. So the fact that Forest has a time to, you know, take a brief detour and pick his head off as he makes his way to the site is probably a little bit concerning there, but there will be a bomb planted here, and Snappy as well. Well, he's going to be taking his time and trying to stay alive here into the next round. So, I mean, what have we seen from Team X here, really?
I think it's just early game for me at the moment. I'll see if they start reading NIP better, if they get into the read of it and how they want to start countering this kind of very persistent B hit that's coming through. But the main thing is they actually recovered the AWP off of Freeze, so we're going to see the double AWP now coming out. So I'd like to see Disco Doppelin actually picking that one up. Again, he was quite a highlighted player with the AWP, so I'm wondering if he's going to go for that. And I think he left the AWP in spawn. He forgot to pick it up.
No,
So
he spent 5k this round, so either he dropped that on 8k. Yeah. Okay, either way, he's now going to be up in the tower as well. And Forest, you can see they're both going to try and work the long angles here outside of A. Exist as well. Maybe just trying to rile up the natives a little bit over here at B. No real killer intent at NIP, and just they're testing the waters here at B for the moment.
The one thing I will say is that NIP have come into this and they've got quite a slow posture to the game at the moment. They're taking their time, which could work out really nicely for this round, actually. You don't want to be walking into a bit of a trap, a bit of a surprise. Again, the danger player right now is Snappy, so keep your eyes on where he's going to be playing, if anywhere, probably towards maybe Chicken Coop, maybe towards the back of Statue, somewhere relatively safe so the others can play almost buffer to it. And Get Right, again, being very much at the forefront here, just working in towards drop. He's done this consistently, been given control, but now Team X needs to be able to work away to kind of either limit his options as to what he can achieve, because here comes the rest of NIP now, quite cautious still.
Yeah, not much utility to pave the way for Exist to actually access this side, so it's little peaks here and there, just taking, or trying to take a mile and give it an inch here as well. He's challenged out by Modi there as well, tries to get the spray transfer, but Glaive will shut him down. The bomb, though, still in the hands of Forest, still on that B platform now, and Snappy gets the shot towards Get Right. Just 3 left here for NIP, and 2 of those are AWPs. Now the picks start coming in, though. That's Freiberg and Forest chiming in, and Snappy will fall as well. As Team X getting caught out in the open with their pants around their ankles, and it's easy as that.
Absolutely gorgeous work from Forest then to keep that in check. There was only one big danger player there, which was Snappy with the M4, but still that got dealt with. He took a bit of a kind of the slow step out on Forest, already holding the angle. It's like, you're ambitious, I'll give you that, but still. To be fair, I'd like to see maybe Team X almost making them play for the plant a little more. They're taking some of these fights that maybe a little early in it, but that's just how I feel. They still have that double AWP, so again, this is going to be quite a tough one, I can imagine, for Team X to break down now.
Let's see if we see a fast AWP to B platform here to shut down any sort of attempt to get up close and personal if you're Team X here. Again, though, Glaive playing it quite slowly. In fact, Team X seem to give a lot of this B side, or at least the initial stages of the B platform, over to NIP here. And
this is one of the first times that we're seeing Freeze a little quicker on the dedication towards B. Forest.
That's not good.
Okay, that's a little dangerous. On 2 HP, at least, I guess, for some silver linings with the AWP, so he can still do work. He doesn't need that extended time to kill, so that's a very small, thin piece of silver lining. But again, this is a nice piece here. I like Forest being over here. They've kind of swapped him out with Modi, if I'm not mistaken. And it looks like Glaive wants to challenge drop a bit more as well. So maybe they're just kind of wondering, how can we adapt to this? This is what I wanted to see, is how do they switch up now? Yeah,
banking on the counter flash there, as Glaive did have it in his hands. Seeing some shots coming down there from upper. It's going to be Get Right to challenge here as well. Glaive forced to turn his back. Might be the wrong idea here as well. And even Valde just around the corner, still waiting for Get Right to show himself. He's actually tagged by the flash, but he doesn't get flashed at all. And Get Right will fall. Yeah,
Get Right knew he was there the moment that flash actually hit the player. You're going to know that one, but still, came out with the goods, and I like the way Team X is playing extraordinarily deep on this one. You've got Freeze falling, quite far back to Coop. You've got Valde supporting him as well. So they're trying to give NIP just enough rope to kind of hang themselves with. Those double ups, though, can still pay off. And look at this boost coming out. Doppelin here going to be up on top. Maybe Freeze steps out here. You could get a glimpse, but Team X are not giving them picks here. This is better. They're just sitting pretty deep in, making them commit towards the side. Modi should have a shot on this. That's a comfy pickup, but I don't know what more they can do with this one. Yeah, NIP have been done for. This is lovely from Team X. Very, very passive, though.
Yeah, I mean, as you see NIP want to slow roll this a little bit here as well. Their tendencies towards that B side have been very thought out. The thing is that it seems that Team X are comfortable with this as well. They're more than happy to either play retake or wait for NIP to peek over into this B site here as well. And NIP didn't really cover themselves with a very interesting setup there. There wasn't any utility being thrown onto the site to get them there.
I was about to say, I wonder if Nip would just go and just switch it up now and go, let's hit A. They've noticed that Freeze was starting to pull himself over towards B, but it is going to be the push towards long at the moment. I think Freiberg's just kind of sitting a little further back in case there is that kind of counter push coming through from middle. No one's really there. He might have to look in towards danger at some point. But looking at Team X, they are sitting back incredibly deep, even on A. They've given them a lot of real estate to play with actually here. So again, this can be a set piece coming out. Forest can smoke off doors. They can actually build into this quite quickly. But I think Modi's got a good idea what's going on. This guy sometimes has that really nice intuition. He's already starting to posture towards coming towards A, but NIP going to go for a quick hit off the back of this. The set pieces come in. Modi's en route. Everyone's coming around. Freiberg's holding the back, but can NIP get to the site and can they get that bomb down?
Freeze in position there as well, but that first shot is not going to connect, and NIP haven't already set foot on the side yet as well. Snappy's going to be there to cut them out from under them, and there comes Forest. He at least replies. Now going to make his way in towards storage. It's going to be the smoke up. And we can see the NIP have screened this side off quite well from Team X. Very hard for them to get access, but this is Glaive coming in from behind.
But look how isolated Exist is on the site. Everyone else is already ready for that afterplant position. These three are going to have a tough time playing retake on this, and I think Team X knows that. They're already falling away. Really nice play from NIP just to switch it up on a dime there, almost just going, all right, well, they started to work out our B play. They've started to get an idea of what we're doing. Let's just switch it up. Let's switch that piece up, and they've already gone into this one. So just a really quick hit off the back of those smokes, going straight up long. Bomb plant came in. There was a bit of a trade out, though. You know, it did get a little bit dangerous, but again, there were so many smokes put into play. It was almost that clear run through towards that bomb site.
Yeah, I mean, they screened the side off really well. I think it's something that Virtus Pro did very well against Godsend, actually, the other day on this map. As soon as they get a modicum of control of A, they will screen off Connector. And of course, Julia as well. Hard to peek into that situation. So NRP, they go for double AWP. They try and get some picks. They try and keep Team X at arm's length. It seems as though they get up in your face. The contact push for the AK seems to be paying off a little bit better.
Yeah, yet to get off the starting block, so is Disco Doppelin. I'm kind of hoping he gets building up into this one. He did have a really nice impact play into the last Pro League games for NIP, so you know, finding consistency when you're standing is always going to be almost impossible, but have to see what he brings into this one. Another different piece, and this is the fast play off towards B plat. Ooh, these smokes should be quick to their placing. So again, let's see if Exist and Get Right can actually get into the site off the back of these. They are being held up. A great deal of utility has been put into this by Team X. Get Right with the flash. Here we go. Anyone facing that angle would have been flashed then, and he's been given free reign to get to the site. He catches a glimpse of one. Flash comes in. There's those smokes, and he is going hunting.
This is the killer instinct from him there as well. Freeze goes down through the door. Get Right gets himself the second. This is how you cut a bomb site open like a surgeon. Now Valder that was left on the statue, and he gets himself 2 kills over towards B platform. The bomb goes loose now as well, and NIP's chances are hanging in the balance here. Valde going B now to 1v1.
And Get Right knows where that final player is. He spotted him out. The bomb is still loose. He hasn't picked that one up just yet. 3 kills to his name, and Snappy needs to get this going. He's got a smoke, he's got a kit, he's got a flash. And now how does he approach it? He's taking the slower route. He's going to let him take some control here.
I like this from Get Right.
What's Get Right up to? He's not going straight towards the bomb. He's actually looking for this one too. He wants to keep Snappy on his toes. 48 seconds, and Get Right he's predicting a close enough position, but Snappy's holding the push. Snappy's actually watching the window, not the doorway. Again, the adjustment isn't far, but who's quicker on that trigger? And Get Right doesn't peek here. Snappy waiting ever so patiently. He had the control. He had the time in his side, on his favor. So again, that worked out really well, but Get Right did almost just turn that round on its head then, just going straight through, being so precise on that one.
Really nice. Yeah, really good to see that killer instinct from Get Right there as well. Look at him rolling on towards his site.
And that's the thing, I think he spotted out Valder first of all. So he must have called there's probably one on site there, because he did shoot towards it for a second.
Yeah, he checked it as well.
But then the 3 players behind him got kind of caught up by Glaive and then Valder. So again, a bit unfortunate, but it works out well for Team X. Scoreline-wise though, a bit of a dominant start here for NIP. They're looking pretty comfortable in this. Forest, however, is down to the Tech-9, been on that AWP purchase quite some time here. And ooh, Valder, a brave angle to go for. This could be pretty dangerous. NIP are coming through, and Exist just turns his back right into him. Switched up to the AK. Valder is going big. That's lovely. 3 kills back to back. And the why are they just running into him like this? That was just the biggest feed I've seen in a while. Get Right now is left in a 1v4. He's found 2. He wants to turn this round back on his head, but he's got 3 players and the bomb on the other side of them.
He does spot the head of Glaive as well, but Glaive has a high percentage spot there as well. He's back behind the rock, and now on that statue, off towards the side, and Get Right is going to try and have to spam through the door and get lucky, but no, there's going to be a player coming in from window, and Valde gets himself the ace. What a great way to shut NIP down. It seems like when they're playing slow, Lauren, it's too slow, and now coming with these AKs, this aggression, this push towards the side.
Did anyone challenge him? Sword. Wait, did anyone take the fight here, or did they just run through? Okay, Disco tried to, but then he just kind of like blocked the others. Freiburg didn't hit a bullet. That's unreal that he got away with that sort of spot.
So it really is a pendulum swings, Lauren. It's one extreme to the other here for NIP. The aggression worked out the first time. They went for the AK buy. That time, not so much. Now, they're forced to make do with pistols and not a lot else.
Now, last time they went towards A, they hit up long pretty much. Now they're going middle. This allows Freeze to get into the game. He's been very quiet so far with the AWP. Not really had that many opportunities to get it going for the rounds they've actually done well in. And now they're going to fall back to that very deep passive position. Freeze is still actually looking for some opportunities here. The nice little spot, you can catch him if they do swing towards middle again. NIP are very aware of that, but they look quite stuck here. They don't know how to build themselves out of this one now.
I mean, you try and go ramp, you get picked up by Freeze, you'd work danger, and obviously you still need to peek in towards Wooden as well. So, I mean, no really great openings here for NIP. They haven't created any for themselves, to be fair, and now it's going to be Freiburg looking well for something over here, but you can see Glaive's been counter-boosted up here towards drop, and he'll catch Freiburg the moment he gets around a corner.
And this is a matter of discipline to me. Looking at Team X, how much discipline do they have?
Oh, the freaking crouch.
The crouching, the crab arrived. He's recovered a gun. The crab now will scurry away and bring it back to his crab people.
That's just rude, that is.
That's brilliant. But yeah, you know, for me, the good thing here is at least Team X are showing a good amount of discipline by not just walking into this. Because NIP are just sat there going, please just walk to us. Just give us a chance to get some guns away.
They're just holding close angles around corners and hoping that, you know... And to be fair, from Team X, we kind of saw this tendency for them as well to show that aggression on previous maps. But again, we're seeing them allow NIP to take some space here as well. They're sitting back and just, well, coming back in with the refrags or the retakes as they're required here. But Snappy, on that side, Modi is close by him as well. We're free should better lay down the law a little bit from off in the corner. It's going to be Freiburg and Get Right getting involved here. Just 2 players left here for Team X, and Get Right already making his way across now. Modi keeping himself scarce. He gets Disco Doppler there as well. Somehow manages to turn that one around, but Get Right's always going to be there, and it's going to be Valde. It's 5 seconds left in the round. There's not enough time for Get Right to plant the bomb, let alone win the round itself, and he's going to have to back out and hold on to the AWP.
What a round, though. How did that happen? It was small piece after small piece being exploded by NIP. He gets away with an AWP there when they started off with Glocks, and I think 1P250 maybe. And I think that was it. I don't know if Freiburg got the smoke as well at the start, or he picked it up off of, I think it was Glaive who'd pushed up. So something for nothing, I guess, in that, you know, that sort of situation. That's pretty insane. So he's got himself an AWP coming out for NIP. I don't know if they could have actually afforded that otherwise. So again, a really nice kind of pick up there. Freeze, though, getting a little more active in the peak. Not going to allow so much control for NIP, and seeing players already showing presence on long might weigh heavy in Team X's mind. Last time we've seen that, there was commitment off the back of it. This time, not the case. Again,
just little peaks here from Team X. Not going too far, but exist. Unfortunate to be cut down like that, but Glaive finds him through the smoke. However, he wasn't the mainstay for NIP working on towards that side. It's Get Right and Freiburg still over at B, and of course at A here, you can see Disco Doppler and Forest setting up for some hijinks here as well, as Forest wants to get the early peak. Tough for a CT to play along A if you don't have someone to give you the refrag situation here, but Snappy will be waiting inside danger. Doppler should be checking this, and he isn't, and that's exactly what happens. Check your corners, otherwise Snappy's going to take you out.
Did he miss him not looking out?
Yeah, I think that happened. Okay. Well, Snappy now can smoke up that door as well. Forest would be remiss to even bother trying to push through that one at this stage. So I think you can't check every corner in this game, but some are just more important than others, Lauren. And now Forest, Freeze was right there. He's standing out in the open, but Forest couldn't see the wood for the trees, if you know what I mean. And that's Get Right there, at least find Snappy. But still, it's 2v4. And it's Team X in control here, but Freeze again missing some of these sitter shots. You've got to hit those. And now he's given away his position here. He's going to try and flash and stay alive, but the molly's coming in hot.
Get Right being slowed down at least on the push here, on, you know, going past those doors. They're down to the 2 players. Doesn't have the angle. Freeze finally starts to hit them, and Freiburg can only do so much. Finds Glaive on the way out, but it will be Team X to shut it down and actually bring the round score pretty even. We're at 6-6 now. This is a really nice swing around from Team X. I think, you know, a couple of rounds, of course, have been lower buys from NIP, but they have broken the back. They've strung together these rounds, which has been quite nice to watch. And Valde, of course, at the very top here. But bearing in mind, that was off the back of the ace. You know, takeaway 5, he's kind of still sitting around the others, but, you know, he's been playing very well.
But the scoreboard's a good example of, I guess, where NIP are running into the most resistance here as well. Valde has been that B player, has been up on that platform along with Glaive, and that's where he's been getting most of those kills as well. So NIP are going to go back to this B push, obviously just with Tech9s now as well. Valde, this guy's got balls of steel. He's more than happy to peek into this one and get himself the first frag.
And he's doing off the back of these really nice set team flashes. They've caught them both times now. He didn't actually fully peek off the back. Now he's fallen back himself. He's caught it with the flash. He has to be careful. He knows they're encroaching towards the side. Modi finds Get Right. Valde readjusts accordingly, catches out Exist, and now we're down to 2.
Yeah, just 2 plays as well, and well, not terrible from NIP to get themselves a couple of kills in this round. No gun salvage though, and then Freiburg's going to have the door with the Tech9, and well, no sight apparently as the flash comes in and takes him down. Modi will just put the finishing touches on this one, and it is Team X put themselves out in front for the first time in this game. A strong start from NIP brought to a screeching halt in the last few rounds by some very disciplined play from Team X, of course, headed up by Valde, who has been doing most of the dirty work.
Yeah, he's been absolutely outstanding so far. Again, though, this is a good buy for NIP. I'm not sure what they want to try out here, because it seems, as you said, that kind of B grind has not been working. It looks like that 3-play smoke with a set piece coming in for them, with Get Right and Exist leading the charge. They need to do this pretty quickly. Oh, that's taking a little bit more time than maybe expected, and already the aggression comes out. Valde, as you said, balls are still there, just going straight up for it. He knows what's coming in. He expects it. He's seen these smokes. He's seen this play before, and this is how he wants to counter it. Exist has not been able to have the impact he wanted. The utility became, you know, too much to handle. He can't break through. Now the crossfire's still in place. The flashes again are phenomenal coming out from Team X, and now Glaive is there as well.
That's right, so Valde falls and Glaive is there to pick up there. He gets his second, and the bomb goes loose, and Freiburg now with a heck of a lot on his plate. The bomb still needs to be picked up, and Modi just sends him packing there. We've talked about Valde, how he's been able to get these kills and have these hero plays, but we just saw a great example of him being set up by his team to perform. The flash came in, facilitated for him to turn this situation around. You see he's back in the corner now. The opponent who pushes him, exists his flash trying to come around that corner. So NIP can't even actually pressure that part of the map safely when Team X are watching, keeping Valde alive, and also disrupting NIP en route.
Yeah, this is called a lot of trouble for NIP. They have so little to play with now. They don't have the mollies, they don't have the AWP. They barely have enough to string together around in this. So not going to be an easy one. And there's been so much variety from Team X so far, at least towards B. Let's stick towards that one for now. Again, Get Right initially had incredible success working through drop, being a real nuisance, getting in between them. But then after that, it's kind of ground down. Glaves actually really starting to perform on this. He had the support for, previously from, I think Modi actually pulled himself towards that as well. But let's see where NIP can bring this now. They're down to the option of, well, let's see what we can do. It looks like an A split coming in just because we've got Get Right and Freiburg sat by drop, and you have the 3 players over towards middle. The big counter to that is the fact that Freeze actually needs to be careful here. He's going to be dealing with the players pouring through drop if they do actually make it that far. And no, they're going to switch it up. That's better. Okay, Glave's going to be the one doing it. He has the rifle tag. Great flash, though, comes in. And that's going to allow Get Right the freedom of passage to come through. And now this is the problem. The pinch comes in, and Team X are down to Snappy.
That's right. Forrest's going to fall as he just comes around the corner, and Snappy will be waiting. But it's a heck of a lot for him to do, and it's just Valde left now as well, who's been an absolute superstar. It's been a mercurial performance thus far from Valde. But now, he needs to try and challenge this one out, of course. No point saving at this stage of the game. He's got himself a Molotov and a kit, and of course his trusty AK. It's going to have to be enough to get him the distance, but Freiburg will shut him down there as well. So NIP do get themselves a bit of a consolation round back there at the end of the half. They played into that one with 4 AKs and a Galil and still managed to make it work. But perhaps they would have loved to have had Pitt firing in his position. That being said, I mean, it hasn't been terrible from the guy as well. It's just how he's been used by NIP. And now we can see Team X go with this T side here. And
the thing is, I find that if you're standing on a T side, it's harder to find your place sometimes. CT side, once you know your spot, you work around it, right? You learn that spot. That's right, where you can find comfort. So I'm hoping maybe this is a better side for him. But yeah, let's see what we've got here, because Molly's come in with that smoke Molly combo, so this could be a nice plant piece coming out for them. Already the ding towards Forest is big. That opens up so many opportunities. It does raise the alarm bells, but now there goes that smoke. Gonna cut off the peak from Get Right. He gets punished regardless. Snappy takes him down, and now 5v3. This should be a good run from Team X here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this range going to be benefiting the USPs here for NIP, but once the bomb gets down, they're going to have to actually pick up their socks and get into the fight. Valde already falling now as well, and you can see 2 players for NIP up there on the balcony. And Modi will just challenge them briefly at length.
Good work from Modi there to actually take that fight. It did allow the cross to come out for Snappy so he could get the bomb down, just kind of playing that position. Now, NIP, the retake is not going to be simple. Freiburg at least does have a kit, so that creates some opportunities, but they're minimal here, Mitch. This is going to be a tough one. So again, Doppler gonna have to be the first into the blender. He finds one position, can't do much about it. It's kind of trying to untangle that crossfire, but here we go. Freiburg can't take a step further. Modi is holding a nice close angle. That Glock can really perform, and there's the follow-up. Nice work from Modi there just to secure the round in the end. But a plant as well, 3 alive. Good stuff overall to start out here for Team X.
Yeah, pretty much a nominal environment there for Team X. And nice play by Freeze there as well. He managed to punish Forrest, going for the early peek on A-Long there with the pistol. Completely nailed him there with the Glock, and then picking up Freiburg, who tried to peek. It was a case for NIP not being able to get information. That's the problem. They have to peek into that site, and was stacked out by Team X. Perfect start for them. 2 MAC-10s coming into this round.
This could be dangerous, though. It's an A split coming up for the T side, but the problem being there's a big stack of NIP towards A-Long, which is quite unconventional, I guess. You don't see it as often as the others. You like to see on site generally. Garrett's going to try and show presence to keep Team X thinking, okay, maybe it's still a B here, the B stack. And look, he hasn't seen anything. He has to commit further. And they've got the bomb here, bearing in mind. Glave's the one behind him. He actually checks it. Good stuff from Freeze, keeping the awareness there, but still damage comes in, and now Glaive has to fight the good fight for Team X. He's got to back away, play the safety game. He's got the bomb here.
Disco Doppler actually chasing there as well, hoping that someone was lingering up there on A-Long, and a decent infrastructure was laid for NIP for a refrag scenario. Unfortunately, just too many players from Team X there as well to get the upper hand. So for now, it's going to get right up through Connector. Valde as well going to spot him out fairly early on there as well, and the UMP going to be fairly efficient at that range. And the bomb going to go down at B here. It's going to be Disco Doppler and Exist. They're set up on A. They're very much isolated from this situation. Valde's in a position where he can cut them off if they do try and meddle or interfere here. I'd say Disco Doppler might like to try and save this MAC-10 at this stage, but Valde not going to give him the option.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, he's going to be farming the money. Just trying to get the spam through the kind of wooden wall there. Good stuff in the end from Team X. I like the kind of clarity of mind, or presence of mind, I guess I could say, of just not going straight up A-long. You do have the superior weapons, you do have the armor, but keeping themselves mentally conscious to not give away rounds, not to give them a chance, because how many times do we see those second rounds coming in and actually being deadly, actually being dangerous, seeing it turned on its head, and then the CTs start building up that economy, and you see it happen so often. So again, nice stuff. Like the way they just turned all the way around. All right, fair enough. They stacked A-long. Let's not go for the stupid risk. Let's take ourselves over towards B. Now, good deal of utility up as well. The molly's coming in now for Team X as well. You've got a fair bit of, UMP play coming out. You've got the MAC-10 as well. So this should be a nice money-building round. You can see Get Right trying to bait these guys in. But Freeze was already aware of this last round. But Disco Doppelman is actually now supporting that position from Forest, so it could be even tougher for them to break into. They might lose a player here. And
there's no refrag opportunity there as well, because Get Right went actually in for that peak, and no one else from NIP able to capitalize whatsoever. So Freeze is adamant that there's someone waiting inside danger, and he's not wrong, really. Going to be smoked now as well. This will hopefully allow him to peek in towards danger without getting popped. There it is. It's the 2 stack there as well. Disco Doppelman going to pick him up there as well. Glaive still responds though. So this is still good for Team X. They're still building momentum here through long A. And NIP, they're definitely, you can see the premeditation into how they're trying to set up here and get a few kills at close range. But again, being shut down here 1 by 1.
Yeah, Exist is hoping for anything now. They're checking for it as well. Freeze already seemed to consider that there was another player up there by Get Right, hence the smoke that came in just to cut it off, so it allowed them to peek towards danger kind of freely, unless someone wants to just run through the smoke. But that aside, it's a really good start for Team X. Let's put it that way. However, let's look on the other side of things. Now, NIP can come back in with a decent buy. I say that. Get Right's gone for the shotgun. Now, I hate to say it, but it's becoming more and more viable to do this sort of stuff. Again, you looked at JW with the sword off on the T side, but you've seen this now coming in more and more. I know there's a couple of players who are actually quite, an advocate for this sort of weaponry, but they've got a horrible surprise waiting on the other side of this. If he comes out of that flash, he doesn't in the end. Molly's allowed to come in, and that's the MAC-10 doing the work. Valda then follows it up. This is a big start again for Team X.
Yeah, it's perfect. They paved the way so well into drop room there as well. Disco Doppelman, yeah, he gets a response there. 1 frag back for him, and Freiberg is forced to truck his way there through Connector. Now, he's the most forward player for NIP, and Valda will be able to catch him as he comes around the corner. The man's got 25 frags right now as well. He's no joke in this game. Freiberg thinks twice about going through double doors here, but again, his passage through drop room is also going to be just as obstructed. Trying to peek on towards Freeze here as well, but he's just not giving him too much here. Team X have done this very, very well. Look at the stall coming up. It's got to be maddening as Freiberg to sit there and realize your passage is going to be constantly blocked by this use of utility, because Team X played ahead of these smokes and these Molotovs.
That was really nice from them. I love them coming in with a really fast pace. It makes it hard for NIP to read what they're actually going to come up against in these kind of buy rounds, because if a team just barrels it in and wins, the flash was great towards drop, but a full flash on Get Right, the MAC-10 gets the kill, so Molly's going to be swimming in cash. Yeah. And actually they got away with the AWP as well. Disco Doppelman going to be seething about that too. So the CTs sitting around that 3K marker, they did retain those 2 weapons, so again they can kind of share the wealth, spread it out a bit. They can get something going if they want to, and they will go back onto that. But you look on the other side, it's almost the perfect buy for Team X.
Yeah, everything they could possibly want. I mean, I love how they set themselves up in a drop room there as well. You talked about Get Right getting picked up. He just never had a chance there. So, Team X showing some aggression, showing their teeth, but also setting themselves up properly as well. Diligent setups for them have won them rounds. They're 5 ahead at this stage, and now they will be working over towards A-long here. You can see smoke already placed down by Freiberg, if that's not a warning to Team X.
But look what this has done. It's pulled 4 of the players from NIP all over towards B. You hit that fast play with these smokes, people get worried about it. And look at this massive commitment. It's all on Freiberg right now. If Team X actually had, some real faith in this, they could have just pushed up off the back of it. Now, of course, Freiberg would hear that. But still, this is really, really intelligent stuff. Now, NIP's going to work out what's going on. But in theory, Team X should have some good angles already. There you go. Freeze finds Forest. It's down to Freiberg. He gets picked up. This is beautiful play from Team X. Again, pushing and pulling NIP around this map. It's the issue with being on the CT side. No information. You're always working on a deficit. And now the last 2 players, what are your options here? You might as well just sit there and save.
And this is a map where you can rotate on a dime. And that's exactly what Team X have been doing as well. They can very much at their own volition to choose sites. And to a degree, NIP have to commit to even have a chance of really holding strong on one of those here. So Get Right again, I mean, essentially nullified in the last couple of rounds, does get the auto shot, a kill on towards Glaive, and a warning shot fired towards the woodwork there. Won't connect with anyone, but still gets himself the AK here. So if he's wise, he probably wants to back away here and maybe try for a cheeky exit, but surviving here is definitely a paramount importance for NIP.
Yeah, I'm consistently impressed by Team X, if I'm very honest.
You did say in the break you're looking forward to seeing what their T-side was like.
Yeah, I'm always very, very curious about these kind of, not necessarily newer teams, but I like seeing the younger talent mixed in with that kind of more, I guess, veteran side. And you get to see these really interesting plays coming out. And it's so far been actually a really interesting game to watch from that. It's I said, you know, this is still early days in the ESL Pro League, and teams are coming back into playing more, because you look at Team X, they probably played their hearts out throughout, you know, that 2-week gap period the other teams took. I can imagine NIP, you know, took their holidays. They'd been grinding out beforehand. But you come back in, NIP are probably cold to playing as a team. They've got that standing coming through. Of course, they have a lot of things, you know, against them in this sort of aspect, whereas Team X have a lot going for them. So again, it's maybe a higher peak currently for Team X and a little bit of a slower start for NIP, but it's always enjoyable to see this. And again, you know, every game counts. Do you remember the last season of Pro League? It came down to those last couple of games.
Oh, God, it was a nightmare.
Exactly.
Like 7-way ties, something stupid.
That's it. So even losing games like this, if they do lose, it's still very much up in the air. It can turn around. 13-7, though, is a very nice scoreline. You could imagine you'd look back if you're NIP and go, those opening games, it's always frustrating.
It's a real shame. It was a real shame to actually see then SK fall out of the groups at DreamHack Summer, because obviously that was a team that Valde and Glaive were filling in for at the time, and they played really, really well. This is just a shame. They're the only team that took maps off Immortals, who won the whole event there ultimately as well, and didn't really drop any other maps to anyone else there. So, I mean, they kind of got the short end of the stick here, and that's probably why as well that Valde and Glaive are ultimately playing in this lineup, because it was such a successful experiment to bring them into the mix there. So Northern Arena, even minus Modi for Team X, and they're going to bring in Nico, not Nico from Mouse Sports, a different one. Should be interesting.
But that's the thing, like for me, Glaive has been such a really enjoyable player to watch as well. He's not having a massive game now, but you know, when he plays well, he plays really well. That he's such a high skill ceiling that he likes to hit, it seems. I think he impressed a lot of people when he stepped in for Astralis. You know, no one really expected him to be able to, you know, achieve that sort of performance, but he really came through there. But anyway, let's get into this one. 13-7, Mitch. This is getting worrying for NIP now. This is when you start going.
This is butt clench. This is butt clench territory.
It really is. And well, they're down to a really bad situation money-wise. Look at it. 2 rifles that were kept from previous round, which was Disco Dopplins and Get Rights. That's all they have to work with. Everyone else, pistols and the occasional piece of armor. So to weather this storm is going to be incredibly hard.
Absolutely. NIP being put to the sword here. But Team X still have a couple more rounds to grind out before they hit the magic number 16. Early AWP play there for Freeze over towards that B platform, but the smoke being up, of course, is going to obscure anyone from NIP on the other side. This is a very patchy buy, of course. The 2 rifles saved from the prior round, plus 5.7s in the mix as well as P250. So, yeah, very, very little to work with here. Freeze not going to be able to get the flash shot there as well, but now going to be pushed onto as well. This is what we want to see from NIP. Bit of aggression here as well, given that they're underarmed. I
love the way they worked at the back of that flash then. 3 players peeking out as well. They had, you know, limited amounts to work with, so they made the best of a bad situation. It's got them a decent trade, but now they have to deal with the rest of it. You can see Valda now. That's just unleashed him. He's got himself in towards drop. He's waiting for someone to try and find a challenge. Freeze is holding firm. He's got the bomb, doesn't want to commit. And Gerard's got the back. I'm telling you, just go for this. Try and get in there. Why not? He had the support in place, and he actually catches him out. That's got him a rifle too. He has the armor to support it. This has become far harder now for Team X. They've been hesitant. They look, you know, a little scared to commit here. They got outdone on that first peak, and now they don't know what to do with themselves.
Yeah, NIP have the numbers advantage and the same amount of rifles as Team X are currently toting, so that is a very, very good result. Gerard just needs to hang around a little bit longer. He would have seen Glaive backing away from that position, tries to go for a bit of a stab in the dark at the spray down and won't connect, but still gets the information that they're backing out of B. So Doppelin going to be helping over at A.
Now, Freiburg should be able to do something pretty decent here. They might face it, but he can at least bait in his other teammates, and that's perfect. He even gets a kill out of it. That's brilliant. He's got the information. That's all he needed to do, really, at this point, and allow it to the guys with the rifles to close this round down. Again, though, Freeze... It was Glaive, actually, in that position who just pushed forward. That was kind of strange. I'm not too sure how that was meant to go down, but still, they got a bomb plant out of it for Team X, so I guess, you know, not all lost. But for NIP, they fought tooth and nail to stay in that round.
Yeah, and you can see how they tried to buy in around that as well and facilitate the players with rifles to actually have an impact there as well. But situations like that, when you're Freiburg around the corner, this is great. You trade a pistol player in for a kill, you give yourself a numbers advantage, you get a rifle away from them. You really can't ask for much more than that if you're in Freiburg's position.
And it's about buying time. They were down to 7 seconds. If he'd killed the guy with the bomb, then even better, you know, that's brilliant. But end of the day, the money's pretty robust. I wouldn't say phenomenal for Team X, but it's pretty good at this point. They're pretty well set going forward.
Well.
However, double up on the CT side. This is what I was expecting from NIP, but they never quite got the chance to get it out because their money's been kind of trashed throughout this game. So finally, it looks like a bit of a default coming out from Team X.
Well, the last time we saw a double up from NIP was in the first half. Didn't work out very well for them on that T side, but perhaps here we'll be able to put it to better use. It's going to be a slower roll through here from Team X. Well, this is a default or just a sit and chat round for them. They haven't really made any real inclinations to either of these sites as of yet. There's Forest here as well, looking straight down in towards Underpass. 3 players from Team X on the other side here as well. You can see Snappy testing, peeking as well, waiting on the smoke timing. Freeze would like to take control towards long A, I'm sure.
Forrest is going to wait on the timing of that shot. Didn't find anything from it, however. Does mean the alarm bells start to ring. They start to get curious as to what's going on, because there's presence shown now by Drop. There's been presence shown by A. However, no one from B has actually pulled themselves over towards A yet. They already had those two players there, which was Forrest and Freiburg. So Exist, Get Right, and Disco Doppler still holding it down. They still have that AWP as well at Coop, so that could be an issue if they don't flash it out. But then again, Team X's executes towards the site have been pretty robust. They don't have a great deal to work with, so every single piece that gets put down needs to be correct.
Playing again ahead of your utility against an AWP player as well could be quite risky. So they're going to try and pave the way a little bit here as well. But there's Get Right and Exist chiming in together, just popping up. It's whack-a-mole, albeit the more gruesome version perhaps, as Disco Doppler chimes in towards the end of the round, gets himself 2 kills and possibly even doubles his frag total for the game there. Not quite, but he definitely had a quiet first half. It's good to see him chiming in here.
Well, that was actually a really nice little bit of crossfire play set up. No one was able to undo it. No one was able to find Exist quick enough. I think was it Freeze he killed first. So again, didn't have much of a shot on that one. So for me, maybe it's time for a bit of a talk for Team X here, because it looks like they're hitting a bit of a wall. And this is the thing I was wondering, is how much depth do they have to their play on their T side? Because you looked at that phase game. I'm only going off what I was able to see on train, or at least what stood out to me was it worked well, but then you compare it to their hits towards A or anything else, they were pretty one-dimensional.
Yeah, and they would try and they set up their A hits as much as they could with smokes, and they do all the right things. That's fine. When it actually came to getting onto the site and winning the aim duels as well was a struggle for them. Their B hits were great, but they often exploited the fact that Kiyoshima was left on that B side on his own as well. Their timings were fairly fortuitous for him.
And also, let's be very honest, I don't think he'd be upset about us saying either. Alu had not a massive game.
Yeah,
he was okay. Just not off the big star that people expected. However, you look at like Forrest, maybe Disco Doppler, you'll see them hitting shots at least. Maybe not as consistently as I imagined, but they are
that one
very...
he missed on overpass last night as well.
Really, yeah,
and then he managed to win it with a wall bang. So funny that as well. The shot was on point from Disco Doppler, but sometimes he just seems to get done over.
CSGO'd.
Yeah, exactly.
The infamous CSGO'd, isn't it fun? But yeah, the players who are actually stepping up at the moment, if I'm not mistaken, is actually one of them being Freiburg there. Freiburg and Get Right.
The last few rounds of Freiburg are really good. I mean, it goes back to just getting that trade out with the pistol, the 5.7 over on the A side earlier on there. So doing the right things.
All right, but the money is starting to deplete for the T side now. They had that really nice streak of rounds, so of course they had a good, a little bit of fallback play there. They had enough to build from, but now it's starting to wither, starting to come down to a bit of a point. But they do have a really nice buy still coming into this one, but on the other side, still that double AWP presence. And bear in mind, it's Freiburg on long, and has he misjudged this? Modi is very close by. Modi's going to take that fight, and he loses it. Freiburg quicker on the trigger.
Oh, yeah, the timing as well just kind of paid off for Freiburg. If he had that grenade in his hand as Modi had come around the corner or peeked him or anything like that, it would have been lights out Sally. But still, great opening here for NIP. This is now going to take a bit of the wind out of Team X's sails. They're all stacked up together here towards underpass, but Forrest is just going to pick and choose.
What's the plan there, Glaive?
Not really sure. Hoping to maybe just get a peek on him, or for some reason a Freeze there drops to Forrest as well. So that's his second kill in towards underpass. Freeze maybe should have been the first to challenge him there with the AWP.
All right, so for me, Team X have definitely hit that wall. Now, I don't know what their plan was this round, but it's not worked out. They're down to 2, so Snappy and Velda. Now, normally when you're coming against double AWPs, you want to negate 1 at least, so you don't allow it to play in towards it. And that's normally by just doing those big side hits. You can see instantly that pullover of players has come in. They've really pinched on that bomb. They're not allowing them to play off the back of it now. Snappy's left in a really dire spot.
And you can see that Exist Freiburg actually just stacked up here a little bit as well, so it doesn't really matter what you peek into them. It's always going to be NIP with a net gain from that engagement. And the bomb, obviously, that's why they're sort of stuck there, because the bomb's been dropped in underpass. So for Snappy as well, he's going to have to be snappy in making a decision here. He might be chased down eventually. I think it'll be NIP. Eventually look to try and take the gun out of his hands. As you said, the Team X's economy was fair. Wasn't overly solidified. Now, though, it's going to be a bit of a different story. You can see it's an absolute jumble of monetary totals there as well. And I'd say that Team X, mate, just sit back on this.
Depends what they want to go for. They can't, like, 2 of them can go for, like, the Tech 9s. Or, yeah, they're all going to go for the Tech 9s. Okay. So, Tech 9 armor. For me, I just want them to do like a big B hit again. I want them to bring that really fast pace and try and maybe just isolate one of the AWPs.
Proactivity worked so well for them.
And even if they isolate the 2 AWPers as well, it's so hard to play retake on a double AWP. So again, I just really want to see that come through. I'm not sure how well this is going to go down, but Get Right should be able to deal with at least one. He does with the supports there. Exist is the backbone of that one. Now he's being overwhelmed though. He's got a lot of players pushing him, but Disco Doppler holding his ground, and that's where you want to see consistency coming out for NIP. And those 2 players working very nicely off each other.
Yeah, it's almost reminiscent of the buddy system that Virtus Pro utilized over on that B side when they played against Godsend. 100%. Obviously saw Pasha, and I think it might have been Neo just working together in tandem there. Yeah. Good little situation to use. We saw from NIP in the round prior to that, actually, when they were watching the bomb in towards underpass. It was Freiburg and Forest there at the time. So
Mitch, I want to see the fast B hit.
Oh, come on.
I want to see just like a nice B hit. That's what I want to see.
That's it. Well, you might have that, Lauren. It's just 5 AKs here. No IWP to work around, so definitely can't really sit back too much.
There's a 4-stack, Mitch. It's already gone wrong.
Jeez. Yeah. Well, is this there? Gets there a bit earlier on there as well. Sees no one peek past the smoke, so this is definitely put a spanner in the works for Team X now as they're set up. I mean, they're just going to everyone line up together and throw nades like good Boy Scouts and hope that they can set something up here. This can be flashed briefly, but now these stairs being here, this is so much flexibility up on this platform. It's flashed again though as well. Now it should go down. Snappy picks them up. Dropping up on the statue there as well. Misses the first shot. Really would have liked to have gotten that one to slow down at Team X here, but Forest gets himself one. Smoke screened off the side nicely. Somehow Forest finds Glave's head through the smoke. Don't know how that works. And Valde's forced to challenge, but goes down. 2v3. The bomb is down, and Modi and Snappy just need to work this together.
Decent crossfire position. It can be outdone, though. They're depending on each other to hold these angles, Mitch. They have nothing else to play with here. Forest still coming back into it. The Molly's burning him alive. He has to swing out, but he's going to take the damage. Molly, they're going to take the quick fight, and he baits it out a little bit too much. And Freiburg gets both of them back to back and be able to retain that utility, just push them out of those final positions they were trying to hunker down in. And the scoreline gets closer here.
And the thing is, Snappy was obviously supposed to be watching Modi there as well, and he was. As soon as Modi went down to Freiburg, he tries to spray down on Freiburg and misses pretty much every shot there as well. He had to pull the shot originally because Modi was standing in between him and Freiburg, so he can't do much. So Freiburg essentially, he gets 2 1v1s instead of a 1v2 purely because Snappy didn't want to kill his teammate.
Yep. Oh, that's pretty unfortunate. And again, though, you look at it now, if they're going to go back to what it kind of ends up being normally that A hit that they like to try and play into, it seems, on this T side. Normally, it's Freiburg undoing it by either picking up Modi as he tries to work up long, but this time Modi's elsewhere. He's had enough of that game plan. So going to play default to start with, maybe here for Team X, and try and find more options, but those options are being limited when Forest is doing this early work. That's Freeze gone. That's their AWPing presence already removed from Team X.
Yeah, and this is that classic NIP now as well. A bit of confidence, they're peeking up out of that shell of theirs, and with Forest opening things up like that as well, that's, well, Team X losing momentum before they can even build any up here as well. So now they're spinning their tires for the next few moments. Snappy pulling back away from underpass here. Might even join Glaive at long A eventually here. And no one from NIP pushing up really here as well. It's just Forest. He went forward. He looked for something, and now NIP sitting quite deep up on this A side.
And it's going to cost them so much time for Team X. They have to clear so much. They knew that Freiburg was on long at one point. You can see the air of caution they're having to show here. So they still have the smoke, so they can smoke off the door, they can flash in towards this, but by that time, you can see Gerard's already considering this is going to be an A hit. He's already starting to look towards it. He's playing by the pillar. He's going to be watching that window in case it's that split coming down. But all 4 players left for Team X are about to build into the site. Both Forest and Freiburg were flashed, but there's now 3 NIP players waiting for them.
And they're giving ground here as well. You can see the Glaive obviously over towards Wooden. Freiburg has 2 angles to watch. Valde's going to win the challenge on him there as well. This puts pressure on Forest. He tries to go for the peak, but Snappy with the AWP of all people shuts him down. And now the 2v2 is in our hands as Modi gets himself a nice couple there as well to open things up. And now Disco Doppelin, the stand-in, the young talent coming in here for Epsilon has a heck of a lot to do, but he catches Modi with his back turned, and now it's just going to be Snappy on the side. Yes, the bomb's down, but Doppelin has himself a molly and a kid to defuse with here as well. It's going to come down to the clean challenge, but Snappy comes out around a corner, and Disco Doppelin didn't know what hit him.
My word. Team X, okay, they put it back from the brink. Again, their money is not good here, so don't think this could be an easy string together, but that came down to the wire. I've got to give credit to Disco Doppelin then. I love that way he played off the first kill. Once he saw that smoke go down, he made the assumption that, okay, they're not going to be watching that instantly. They're not going to keep that in mind straight away. They won't expect me to go through. They're not going to expect me to push through it, and Modi got caught out. Even though Modi did some really big work there as well to allow that to even get back to this sort of close situation. So again, these rounds are so close between them now. That just swung to the hands of Team X there, but I'm not.
Still in the balance.
It's not clear cut. Yeah, again, Freiburg can be maybe have bigger impact here if he wants to stick out on long a little longer. Last time he fell away pretty early on. He's still got Forest as well, watching towards middle, so no one can just sneak up towards danger on him, which is exactly what you need. If someone maybe smokes that out, though, Freiburg will feel isolated, and that's where you could see a problem. But the flash probably going to come out from Snappy. Maybe Modi going to take the fight, but again, this intuition, I love that. Just reading into it, getting that feeling. That's going to deny the quick flash and just cost him a little bit of time.
Really, Freiburg seems quite comfortable playing long A there on his own. He's alternating between going deep and sitting back on that one there as well. So
now he's
Forest
in danger.
flashed.
This is the thing. He has to back away now. He can't stick out in that position once danger becomes compromised. He's going to hold by cannons now. It's a nice play to be able to watch the cross, but now Forest has to keep him safe.
Yeah, I feel like it's a bit of a one and done if you're on your own there as well. So Forest, again, yeah, he definitely needs to step up here and facilitate for Freiburg to shut this one down. Clay going to go for the peek, but he peeks into too many players, and Freiburg going to open up there as well. Exist helps him get the next kill on towards Valde, and Snappy also falls. Now Freiburg wants to challenge Molly, but backs away briefly. He's going to open himself up to Freeze here as well, who's just chomping at the bit to try and get a couple more kills. Thin out NIP as much as possible. And Modi's done just that. He makes the 2v2, challenges on towards Forest, and Forest, as soon as his feet hit the ground, he takes the shot, gets the kill, and Freeze down to 57.
He knows where they are now. He can actually... Oh, he could have almost made it there. Forest picked up the M4 and went on the hunt. Does retain both orbs. But that got kind of dangerous to have those both orbs left in that position. And you've got to feel for Freeze almost then. He was trying to hit that shot on Forest for so long underneath it. But I think Forest might have either been on the ledge, kind of, you know, on that, not the wheel arch, but there's a little ledge at the back of that truck there again, or just maybe just wasn't hitting the shot. So Tech9's coming out now for Team X. Again, having to throw in whatever they have here, because that scoreline is getting incredibly close. NIP really coming back into this game. Once we saw that double orb come out, it's become a matter of real consistency for them, locking down these guys. Get Right's been having a bit of, you know, a bit of a tussle there in drop on occasion, but this time he looks pretty safe here, pretty secure, not been pressured just yet.
Yeah, his T side was excellent actually. Get Right's now as well. He's forced to play a bit of a tougher role, as we know. It's your JWs and your Get Right's and the likes of those players that are sort of forced into that position. Well, choose it either way. It's not the easiest. So Team X, slow and steady. Others had pretty much no money at the start of this round. I'm surprised they even bought. Actually, some of them were under 1,800 individually. But still, they've gone for it, of course. But at this point, you probably need to get your skates on and get some rounds on the board and finish things off.
1 minute, 7 seconds. Every single player for Team X now looking towards B, just waiting for their opportunity. And the problem is, again, though, that Exist and Disco Doppelin have been very good at holding this, but not every player is dedicated here. Get Right's already backed away from actually actively holding drop. It's going to allow for a chance. It's a slim chance, but they're going to take it. Snappy finds Exist, but that's about it until then. Valde's going to turn the tide a little now. Back to a 3v3. It's deadly with this orb still, and there's that crossfire kicking into gear. Forest now comes here to save the day, deny any more pressure, but Glaive's got other plans. He's still on the go. Freiburg's a little flashed up there. I think there's possibly a team flash as well. Comes back out, but there's Glaive down and out. Close round, but close rounds aren't going to win you the game at this point. It's 14-14, Mitch.
It's nice there as well, the double orb coming into play, both orbs on that same side. It almost seems like a bit of a safety net in the last few rounds for NIP. If some of their more forward players or their frontliners are taken down, we can see situations like that where Disco Doppler and Forest both chime in with kills of their own, really start to slow Team X down. And that was the force last round. This time they've got to be a bit more patient and sensible here. Nothing brought up really at all. See what they can make with this buy. It's mostly Glocks here as well. Glaive does have himself a as well.
The Glock train. Forest should have an enjoyable time, at least until now. He misses the shot that he needs to hit. Switched up to P250. I'm still so unsure of those sounds, and it's absolute bloodbath. When I hear that P250, I'm just like, what?
Yeah, it's quite strange as well. 5-7 as well.
What are you? Yeah. It's gross. But yeah, they had to do that to even have a chance to take it to 15-15. But if you've been looking at the last couple of rounds, it doesn't look likely for Team X unless they just do something completely different.
So now they're going to play around double AWPs, Team X do, without one of their own here as well. So it's going to, well, ideally require a change of thought process here in how they approach these sites, because if NIP can keep Team X at arm's length, they will be able to cut them down before they even get close enough to draw a scratch. I like this from Forest. Coming forward, actually through the smoke there as well.
Glaive.
Not bad at all. Very
Brilliant.
low, Forest is.
Yeah, going to push him back to 12 HP. That's the first time we haven't seen a quick opening kill going to hands of NIP in quite some time. It's not enough to swing it yet in towards maybe Team X's favor, but that's going to certainly keep Forest humble, having to fall back way more passively than it was before. But Disco Doppelin going hunting a little bit here, trying to keep some control over B platform area, peeking down into it. Freiburg still safe enough, playing up by long, and actually he's got support this time. He's reading this very, very well. The nade's going to go through. That's going to isolate him again, and now he's got Get Right behind him. That's the biggest swing factor now. That could change this one around. They're very quickly pushing off the back of this. They know they can smell blood here, and they want to exploit that.
I see Get Right going to peek in there as well towards Danger, gets himself two, and that's just taking the wheels off of the Team X card. Glaive just trying to peek in there, but this is just vintage Get Right now. It doesn't matter who you are. You got no name when you come up against this man. It's going to be Freeze finally able to shut him down, but that's just the cherry on top of a nice little comeback here in the second half for NIP. Freeze realizes now he's pretty much done. So, again, not many options remain for this man.
Nice picky poison, isn't it? There you go. He chooses to go out by Forest's route. And in the end, what a turnaround off the back of quite the one-sided half, actually. It looked like Team X had control, but then it looked like the lack of depth really did start to hinder them on their T side. Yeah,
and you foreshadowed it quite well. As soon as we saw the double AWP come up on the CT side, you were like, all right, we haven't seen this yet from NIP on this half. They've struggled to solidify.
guys are incredibly good overall. They showed that they do have that resilience. They do have that comeback potential at all points. So this is going to be a tough one. NIP not exactly renowned for their overpass play, but showing that they do have some real diligent play on this map recently.
A key pick, I guess, for NIP. Oh, look at that. We have a logo now as well. Still says XSK Gaming, but we'll get past that. It's a big old X there, so now you know who they are. All right, so we're going to be getting into the pistol in just a few moments. The knife round results do see Team X on the CT side to start things off here as well. It's going to be Modi with a kit and a smoke. The rest of his teammates have armor with the USPs, and Freiburg going to be the utility caddy here for NIP.
Ooh, and the boost already kind of come out. So Team X just going to be positioning themselves up quite, I say passive, it's not passive. They're actively watching the peak, but no one's really available to get taken down just yet. There's actually 3 players here. Valda's here as well, so looking to try and do some early damage here, but the smokes have come down really nicely already. And IP are going to get a plant, and it's going to be retake time very quickly here.
Team X become bystanders there to this take of that site by playing, I guess, with more passive positioning there as well. And now Disco Doppler looking for a little bit more, but Team X can keep them at arm's length and use those USP ranges to just chip them down one by one. Get right only gets himself one before he goes down. Bomb was down, and that may be enough for NIP here as well, as Team X definitely make a meal of them towards the end.
Yeah, really nicely constructed basic play coming back into that one. No one overcommitted, no one just ran in to take the quick fights. It was actually pretty smart the way they did that. Just kind of
Disco
sat back.
Doppler going to them, trying to find them, getting caught out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah,
that was actually quite enjoyable again from Team X, just showing some discipline there. But NIP still got a plant, which is the main thing. So they're going to forego this round, or maybe incredibly light investment, nothing too much here, because you want to go into that third and be able to purchase the decent weapons. If they can get another plant, however, that would be brilliant. That would really make such a robust moment for them. But yeah, the P250 purchase, no armor, no utility with it. Perfectly fine. If they get anything out of this round, it's really good.
And Henry was talking about the execute for NIP as well. It's quite fast in the way they sort of set it up with the mollies and the smokes there as well. Saw a little bit of a hint of it last round, I feel, and how they managed to get onto the bomb site and plant so early on. But now, seems like they've got other ideas. It's 3 players towards long. Freiburg can get right in towards Plaza at this moment, and Freeze spotting one of them there as well. But NIP are relishing the chance to go all the way up long, close the gap on towards Team X, and they can use those pistols.
Yeah, I think Freeze actually saw both of the players as well. I like the way the Snappies responded by pulling himself in towards into the underpass itself, but Modi was the one supporting on long. It did leave Freeze slightly isolated, which did equate to the threat that came in from Get Right. However, Modi with the UMP being the one to actually clean up, and they recover the M4 at the very end then. So still keep themselves in this, but this is the buy round that NIP can go for. They can buy pretty well. It's not the most, perfect buy. You can't get the AWPs out really at this point, but you can get enough to get some utility, some very basic utility here. Again, only 2 smokes so far, nothing else.
3 UMPs here for Team X as well, so they not really wanting to mix it up too much here as well. I mean, still full rifle loadout, I guess. Freeze gets himself an AWP. So NIP not getting too much off of that last round. No real surprise there as well. Once they got into effective range, they were still cut down ultimately by Team X here as well. And the Molotov early does stifle a little bit of this aggression from NIP, and you can see Glaive jumping across for the information spots. 2 players there in Monster.
Again, though, this is NIP getting a lot of ground gained. And they don't have any mollies to clear, so positions that Valda's in is still in. He's going to be just fed the kills here. Peeking in 1 by 1 is going to be a perfect situation for him. He's negated the presence from anyone at Monster open the flash down, and Snappy tries to come on the flank there and actually gets punished for that, so already back down to a 3v3. But look at the HP here. Gerai and Forest incredibly low. A nade could do them both at this point, and Glaive knows that. He's looking for these actively, and Gerai's the one with the bomb. He's all alone. This could be huge. If Glaive pushed out then, he could have caught him out, and that could have been almost round done and dusted there and then.
Yeah, I mean, to a degree, Get Right was essentially pinned for that moment in that area with the bomb. It was a very vulnerable spot for him to be in, but he's been given a bit of a stay of execution here, Lauren. He managed to get away. Valde wants to try and spot him out as he crosses past Canal, but I do believe Forest is covering not that part of the gap at least. Valde gets the bomb loose, gets the one player, and Exist falls down as well. This guy, 4 kills for him already in this round. He's had an excellent day.
He's playing incredibly well. This is beautiful to watch. It was the pacing on that. He took the peaks correctly, he didn't overstep. And now Forest is on 3 HP. What are you going to do here, Forest? You've got to go to some sort of beast mode to even get close to this. You've got 20 seconds left, the bomb's at least into your hand, so that's one small benefit, but at most, you just want to be saving this one, and he's been leaving it quite late to try and back away from this. I guess he wanted to just try and keep them being humble over by B as long as possible, but he's going to be able to get away here and probably keep that AK, that rifle into the next couple of rounds. But yeah, let's talk about Valde there, because he was absolutely integral to that round, and this seems like a consistent factor. His play on these sort of sites has been huge, and there's been a while since you've seen a player in that sort of spot be able to pull off those sort of moments. You look at maybe Astralis exist will, Zipnix will occasionally have those moments where he can kind of be that very turret-style player and play it incredibly well. But again, would he get away with that if NIP had that flush buy?
Exactly, because it's not rocket science, right? He was just set up a Toxic near the barrels there. Now, if NIP had the Molotov, they often used to pull out and throw in that direction. It's unlikely he would have been able to sit there. So the fact that NIP weren't able to get quite enough money to really, like you said, flush them out in terms of utility, well, ended up being their undoing there, as Valde was able to use a spot that's so often swept clean early in the round by teams setting up with those Molotovs and smokes. Yeah,
and your one danger here is Forest, pretty much. He's the only one with the rifle on towards the T side. A couple of people upgrading their pistols, 2 Deagles there and a P250 for Exist to close it out. Get right going completely clean into this one. So for me, I'm hoping Team X play this smart, play quite deep to the sites, make them commit, draw them in, you know, keep those rifles at that good length so they can really punish them. The only threat is pretty much Forest here, so you've got to be cautious of that. Those Deagles can do damage, but they shouldn't allow themselves to get caught off guard unless someone hits, you know, one of those real blistering shots.
Again, Forest just trying to safely encroach towards this A side here as well. You don't want to be the player that gets caught off by someone around a corner with a cheeky pistol or, God forbid, a taser. So Forest spots it out. Lovely little double tap towards the head of Modi there as well. He just wouldn't have known what. He didn't get sent back into next Tuesday now as well. Forest still wants to get involved here. The nade crushes Get Right, but Forest gets another one on towards Snappy here. It's still a 3v3, but NIP are onto this side. They've essentially got control. Exist plants and Forest on Overwatch here. Nice little setup there for NIP, especially how minimal they were brought into this round.
Gorgeous aim from Forest. So controlled, so well placed. He's been using the others as feelers almost to allow them to take the brunt of the battle, but now he needs to put himself into this fight. It's a 3v2 here. He's holding the cross. He does get flashed up. The bomb still playing pretty well for him. He needs to be hitting these crisply. He can't follow up towards Freeze, and there's the close down. The defuse will come in. Actually, Glaive does have a kit as well in case they need to use that. There you go. So that's going to close it down. Forest making a big impact there. 3 kills in that one, but couldn't do any more than that.
Yeah, I mean, so you had the 1 AK in that round that Forest saved. The rest was Deagles and assorted pistols. You get 3 kills, you get a bomb plant. If you're NIP, you're satisfied, but you're not happy because obviously still now down 4-0. Obviously not ideal. They didn't get the sort of start they were looking for, but we've got Exist, Disco Doppler, and Freiburg yet to frag here as well. So for those guys, they're looking for opportunities to open up and actually facilitate NIP to control a bomb site, or at least get a decent setup and allow Get Right to lurk through. We want to look towards his lurking in this game as well when it gets to that point and see how he sort of exemplifies that role on NIP.
And they do at least have those Molotovs now on their side for the teaser. At least a couple. 2 to be very precise there. Exist and Freiburg
That's too
now.
precise to me, Lauren.
I know,
Approximate, please.
Sorry, around 2. Get Right, they're going to go try and get that cheeky opening. Straight up, you know, the face towards the barrels. It doesn't always work out. It's dangerous to do that as well, but you know, it's Get Right. This guy can hit the shots. But again, Forest and the rest of the boys just pretty much playing this out default. No one's really committed anywhere too far.
Cheeky. The boost there above the smoke as well, allowing Team X to still have a bit of vision over the push out of Canal there as well.
Yeah.
No one forthcoming from NIP, probably luckily for them. A lot of this utility still being held on to, Laura. Now we're going to start to see some of it being let loose. The ballistas are being loaded up. Freeze flash briefly there on long, but opts to stay, and he gets smashed by Forest, who's just so sharp today.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Forest is hitting some actually pretty nice shots. You know, even for Forest, you know, when you look at this guy, it's like the guy has some really crisp aim, but this is impressive. Snappy's in a bit of a curious position. It could be great, or he could be just completely swept aside. It's one of the two. You're not going to just have like, oh, maybe I'll get a couple or do something. But Exist finds him really quickly, and it was isolated. He couldn't back away from that. Modi had already left and been like, no, I'm okay. I don't want to just stick out here on my own. So 5 players now standing for NIP. They're in a really good spot. They've cleaned this up well. They've forced Team X back towards the sides. Modi now just going to be trying spotting out by the toilets. He's got to be careful. You do expose yourself when you're doing that, but it looks like NIP are setting up for this piece now, coming towards the side. He's looking more and more vulnerable, and Modi is going to be burnt alive if he doesn't move.
Yeah, so he's forced away, and now see NIP can play from behind. He smokes quite nicely. You can't see NIP Get Right planning it all, should I say, and there Freiburg's going to chime in as well. NIP over this one like moss on a rock. It's just Valve left now as well. He has to come in from Dumpster. He's going to be put in a second, I think, at 27 health, having to back away sheepishly, and he won't get far.
And these are the rounds you just really enjoy watching NIP. It's that kind of all-encompassing style. You saw them gain those 2 initial kills into their favor, then they do that really well-constructed site hit that utilizes the mollies, the smokes. They kind of, I guess, smother the site in that sort of play, and they play so around it. They know where the kind of remaining spots are, so they can play in towards those. You can see Exist already positioned himself ready for any sort of spot that can actually try and counter it. I actually really like that in NIP, and I know it obviously turned a lot of people's heads when you saw it on Cash the first couple of times.
Absolutely.
These sort of practices. But again, Freeze has been getting aggressive on occasion. occasion. He does have Snappy there with him to try and lock down underpass, so it means that he, he doesn't just get outflanked. He's got to be careful though, because Long will become vulnerable if he outstays his welcome. But again though, Valda there actually going aggressive towards short as well. Just a little bit of a peek down, nothing too much, but it's only a UMP with Snappy.
Valda seems much less restrained so far today. Snappy there is all going to be caught out. Always the player on the flank or on the lurk or coming just from these pivot positions, but he won't be available to Team X this round.
And Freeze will need to back away soon. Yeah, there's no two ways about it. You can see him like edging back because I don't feel safe anymore. Because no one's watching that underpass push up, so he doesn't know if it's safe or not.
And from where Freeze is watching, I think you can almost come out of underpass and get to toilet block without him even being able to see it.
Yeah, exactly. And this means Long's pretty available. I think Molly's been jump spotting it as well though from bank, so they have some control. But Freeze is just kind of hoping. It's when you see them just go, well, I'm just going to make my choice. It's a 50-50 if they come here or not at this point. But NIP have actually taken themselves towards Long, so Molly's can be the one to possibly get the information for this. He is just going to be spotting up and over. I'm pretty sure they're going to hear and see these flashes pretty soon.
He's going to be the punching bag as well. I guess the test rat to NIP's really nice Venn diagram of frustration when they throw down that utility. He was struggling to deal with it last round as well as 2 smokes and a Molotov bang in between. So you're either damned if you do or damned if you don't. But Freeze, that's a great way to take a bit of momentum away from NIP now. Forced to maybe reconsider or slow down, but it seems that they still want to come forward here. He's just got flashed. Nice little delay tactics here coming out from Team X to slow things up a bit. Freeze is set up.
I think they might have failed to smoke it because you can still see Long pretty clearly from bank, but again, NIP going to play with what they have left, which is the 4 players. Valda gets picked up. He was very early on the side, but look at the time, Mitch. 8 seconds left. The spray comes in from Money. That's huge, but the plant is still going down. It doesn't get stopped, but it leaves Freiburg in an incredibly tough situation.
He's got the 1v2 here as well. A chance to flash him around the corner or maybe cause some damage here. Smoke, though, is actually going to just protect Team X here as well, as Freiburg still searching for his next target. He'll get peeked off towards the left here as well, and Freeze comes in with the USP. Takes him down. A chance there for the man, but it is lights out.
Yeah, it was just Modi being in the right place at the right time, playing it well. Valda could have done that as well, but they checked it, they sprayed into it. That's a really common spot. It's a common corner. I think you'll get right doing really well at the last major from there. It's such a common spot just to go for the sprays, because you get to see a little bit of a cross-up from Long as well, and the push-up from Toilets, but exists instinctively just going, no, not this time. But yeah.
Really good in with the FAMAS as well, and Disco Doppelin had 2 players to deal with there as well. Modi wasn't even the biggest threat on his list, and when you're getting 2 kills, you're not the biggest threat. That says a lot about your defensive setup and the threat you generate there.
Yep, going back into it though. We do have at least a really nice buy for both sides, and we're going to see what NIP brings. We haven't seen that infamous B hit coming out yet. We haven't actually seen Get Right lurking that much either. Over by that B side. Again, I just want to see what they bring. This is still the early days to see what the teams are coming back in with after that little bit of a break. So it's still all up in the air.
Freeze there as well, not lingering too long towards middle here, despite having Snappy on side for him. Snappy hasn't opted to go down in towards connector at all there as well. Obviously getting killed by Freiburg that prior round has left him a little bit iffy about whether he wants to be there in general. So he will back up Freeze, albeit from a far more passive position there as well. You can see on the minimap he is standing behind him. He'll be watching the push out from underpass. So, I mean, still achieves the same thing. They're still keeping eyes on underpass itself, just not as active.
Can we just see where Modi is really quickly?
Is he in heaven? Yeah.
The problem is that Modi usually is the one spotting Long. When he's in this sort of spot, they don't have the information. Now, they're probably going to hear the flashes and maybe a couple of steps or just expect the presence. But the problem is that now with no one spotting it, they could actually get a shot towards this. Freeze is already adjusting for it, I think. He's actually going around towards possibly bank or over by the dumpster.
Look at the ground gained here.
So yeah, NIP actually have a good shot at this. No one's really locking it down just yet.
I guess maybe because Freeze had Snappy quite close to him there as well, he figured he at least had a player that could rotate and watch Long if it was needed, but it's more of a false sense of security because the player was there, but neither of them were watching Long at all, and that's Exist is creeping up very closely here as well. Freeze may be caught off guard. So Molly does come down, the setup coming in here for NIP as well. Freeze can only really just smoke away at that one there as well. Snappy catches out Disco Dopeland as well. Perfect from Snappy coming in, wants his 3rd. He's going to be denied it so far, and now Freeze has got a bit on his plate now to work with. Misses an important shot, and Freiburg will punish.
Freeze, you got to land these, my man. Now, Modi is in a good spot. He's going to allow the plant to go down and maybe try and go back into it. I don't know if Freiburg saw maybe his feet there on the edge of the smoke. I'm not sure how he caught a glimpse of that one. I couldn't see it from his perspective. But now Glaze pulled himself over here. You're left in a 2v3 retake with 1 flash to your name and no kits. This is looking almost impossible to do.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a mountain to climb here in the next few moments for Team X. Freiburg, though, gets the pick out on towards Glaive and has responded quickly. Modi is there as well. Forrest going to miss that first shot as well. Exist being low as he is, can't even get involved at this stage except be a peripheral player. But that time is ticking down as well. Modi didn't really have anything to work with in Forrest. Ever the reliable one is going to finish with the AWP. 006 there on our man Disco Doppelin. So again, continuing the trend of some quieter performances today. Definitely not as impressive as he was last night, to the point where everyone was like, okay, this guy's a legitimate threat here. Today's been a little bit tougher for the man.
He did bounce back on the second half, at least,
That
in
is
the last
true.
game. That was the one, like, silver... I guess the silver lining to it was that he played very well on the CT side. Again, not doing too well on the T side just yet. Forest being more of the primary opera in this one, and Team X going to go for the stack towards underpass. At least a stronger presence here. You've got about 4 players on this, so
Wow.
could be quite fun.
A bit of a mother's meeting here for Team X as they hope just to canvas this part of the map off and, well, essentially make it into a bit of a meat grinder or trash compactor, depending on which way you're inclined. And IP respect this as well. They're playing this round out really slowly. Freiberg has 0 information gained from being in underpass himself. He hasn't pushed far enough. He's being very canny about this, and I like that as well. They are respecting the fact that there might be something cantankerous afoot here for Team X. And IP look to be posturing in the direction of B here as well. So this stack, at least for Team X, allows them to sort of train out onto either of the sites if they have to. At least they're not committed to either A or B in its entirety.
Yep, I'm just going to go all the way around to B. The stack could still do pretty well. They can just go out of door and just try and catch someone out going through water. It's still fine. You know, they have absolutely
Navi
limited
round.
amounts. Yeah, this is incredibly solid. Look at the commitment as well. They're not being light on the usage of utility. They want to make sure this is clear. And they're going to find out there's a sea of players just coming up through short.
Yeah, Freeze is going to be the next one to step up to the abattoir, if I'm not mistaken. Freiberg wastes no time in coming forward. Verstappen gets himself a cheeky little pistol kill. So that's 2 kills for Team X in that round, but also bomb plan in round 1 for NIP. They're bringing it back here slowly but surely. Wasn't a great start for NIP off the back of losing the pistol there as well, but they have, again, solidified, much like they did on the CT side there in that last map on Cobble.
Yeah, very reminiscent of that. But now looking at the buy coming in for Team X, it's pretty shoddy. A UMP for Glaive. Famas all around. It's not looking too pretty. 2 rifles, proper rifles,
Sure.
I guess, with Freeze and Snappy, but yeah, that's not fun. B's looking pretty vulnerable if they actually go for that hit there. Again, though, NIP really haven't been doing it on the full gun rounds. They've been kind of slowly working their way up long, hitting that A site. It's been going really well, but Freeze going to be boosted up by Snappy there, trying to keep eyes on.
Going to be able to just get early vision, or at least some early warning if NIP start to trickle in their direction. Doesn't appear to be the case yet. Again, another slow roll here for NIP. Get right, it's probably one of the most furthest positioned forward players for NIP, which is just saying very, very little, obviously, in this round. Most of them are up towards Playground. Freiberg here still in towards Connector. And again, playing it out the same way he did that last round. Don't really know if NIP could have a solid read of what SK or what Team X have brought up in this round. Obviously, following that last one. Bit of an eco bash here as well. So reasonable to think that, again, Team X might have something up their sleeve.
Well, Team X has used both of their smokes are actually placed on towards B, and Glaive and Valda look like they want to go through the smoke. There's... maybe just wait for it to dissipate. I don't know if this is a wonderful idea. This guy Doppelin is literally on the other side. Oh my gosh, the timing could have been awful then. He literally just turned around. Freiberg will be the one to do pretty much everything that was required there. Now, Get Right's going to work his way up short. B is completely vacant of players, so they can make a play through this quite comfortably. Everyone else is pretty much over by A. Modi is the closest buy, but now Bomb's going down. And this has just been a really, really disciplined round again from NIP here. Just all-encompassing. You've got to be careful, though. Forest could be caught out. There isn't anyone really close to support him, so he wouldn't be able to be traded out for, but Modi, lots of discipline here. Look at this trigger discipline. Just wait and see if anyone else is going to come through.
He can do so much to disrupt on the site here now.
And no one expects anyone to come from this spot, because already you had someone walk through it, so he's got a kit. The only problem is, okay, so Disc of Doppelin is on short. That's the only one thing. Modi, if he doesn't check this, it's done for. And there it is. The threat has been removed. That could have been much worse than it was.
Build up and then a bit of an anticlimactic finish there. Shame, but now those last few guns are going to be torn from the grasp of Team X. It's going to be NIP not allowing them to carry them into the next round, of which they will have a very limited economy. Glaive only with the 1 kill himself here as well. I mean, you know, while we're pointing out people who are having a little bit of difficulty, you can't leave him out there. A bit quieter for him. Obviously, just a very impressive performance in general at the major for Australis to have to obviously bring him in there as well, and then even use Zonic. To get to where they did was impressive, and a big part of that was Glaive. And it was actually the VP series where Australis lost it. I thought was Glaive's most impressive moments there during the major.
I don't disagree. Again, though, going back into this stack towards underpass. Last time, didn't really get the action it wanted. Freiberg. Just the mad spray. He is going back in as well, and maybe didn't expect him being that close, but he's done enough. It's not pretty to watch. but it works.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know. Blunt objects still tend to do damage, Lauren, as well. A tenderizer mallet and a surgeon's scalpel. I guess if you want to just wreck something, I guess they're just as good as each other. It's just a different approach, you know. Speaking of approach, Snappy is inbound. To what? Well, a lot of dead bodies of his comrades see that not everything is as it should be as he walks down there, and it's going to be exist catching him easily enough.
Yeah, and I just want to see what happens with Team X now that they're actually back on a decent buy. They haven't been too exciting to me on their CT side. It seemed kind of passive. Well, not even passive, just I don't see much creativity. There was the boost coming out from, I think it was Freeze and Snappy, and that's been about it, really. Yep. We haven't seen much more going on in B. Again, though, Moddy's actually taking a different route here. This could be maybe something different, maybe Moddy going for a bit of a quick play, but already NIP going back to what they like to do, sit back quite far at the start, not give away too much, see if there is any of that aggression, and here it comes. It might not work out. Get right actually doesn't land the shot that you need to. Glaive has the perfect opportunity to punish, and now there's finally a bit of exciting play coming out from Team X. A little bit of aggression here and there. Got to be careful going in towards underpass. That has been Freiburg's domain. And he's been actually very, very good in here. Just
patient. Incredibly patient play from Freiburg now as well. Oh, shutting that door, maybe not a smart idea. There's no chance for a refrag off the back of that one there as well. Of course, Freeze was sort of cut out of that entire situation. So Freiburg gets away with murder there, literally. And Freeze now has to open the door back up and go, oh, well, I guess I might have messed that up one. Now I'm going to have to come back in onto this. Interesting stuff here. We like a bit of CT aggression, Lauren. We talked about it. Henry brought it up pre-show. Said this is a map where it can be showcased well. Discussed the meta, I guess, of that short burst of CT aggression, then pulling back. Well, I got him 1 kill there as well, but just a bit of a, I don't know, a bit of a kerfuffle there is costing Team X dearly.
Oh, the timing on that one. Freeze just looked away at that moment. That's got to be incredibly frustrating for him. But again, NIP grinding out these rounds. They lost out on the opening advantage then, and they could have lost a lot more. However, they just find these kills back again. It's incredibly frustrating, I can imagine, for Team X, but they do give up these opportunities. Now, Snappy is very much alone. That's the biggest issue here, and already Disco Doppler going to look to exploit that. They know he's going to be here. Exist was more than enough to deal with him, and is leaving the last 2 players who've classically been over towards the B site. Moddy's been kind of floating in between, but Disco Doppler in a really nice spot to catch anyone else out. Well, they're at least going to try and get a couple on the way through, but there's not much more for this round apart from saving these guns.
Now, with the bomb just being planted as well, still a few moments for Team X to play hide and seek, or at least set up there as well. And NIP will be in hot pursuit. It's going to be Exist making his way down in towards spawn. So if Aldo can't ferret himself away in this tunnel quickly enough, he's going to fall, especially with Exist now coming in from behind. Again, taking these guns away from Team X is of utmost importance here because they haven't solidified that economy yet, Lauren, as well. They really do need to save these weapons. And, well, it's not really easy to hide when there's still so much time left in the round there as well. Forest there, just to add insult to injury, will take that gun away from Moddy. So, again, SK trying to keep their head above water. They've lost, I'm pretty sure they've lost all these rounds in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
I can't actually tell because my ear doesn't work.
Rush,
can you press tab? Thank you.
All right, so, yeah, all but one.
Yeah, that's not fun. CT side economy is pretty punishing as it is, especially when you're staring down that sort of streak.
Especially when you can't get yourself little, you know, packets of cash by, I don't know, planting a bomb or something like that as well. You don't have objectives built into the round to give you extra cash as well. So if you don't kill the enemy team, then, well, you're struggling.
Yeah, and I actually feel for Team X in a way because NIP's start to these rounds has been just sit back, see if they actually pull out any of that aggression. The only thing that kind of worked out was Get Right missing that shot when he was playing towards short, and they finally pushed out there on their buy round. But again, just NIP, the way they approach this game, it's incredibly hard to find that sort of aggressive stance and go for that CT-sided aggression. They will pull themselves in towards a different side of hit. They pull themselves into working up A long, or wherever it is they want to go in this round. Generally, it has been working towards A, and it's been actually very, very good from them.
And there's a reason why people call Ninjas in Pyjamas the comeback kings, because once they read your play or sort of read into what you're doing, and they do it very astutely here as well, the solution they come up with is almost always then requires the opposition team then to make adjustments of their own here, very much keeping Team X on their toes.
And I like the way then Freiburg and Geray actually cleared underpass. Considering the fact that Team X had been stacking that out, I think they're going to realize that this isn't just your regular round. They might be playing a little bit more default. They might be stacking out one of the sites. Probably going to just walk themselves towards A. It is pretty much just a default round for Team X, just with very, very limited amounts of weaponry.
Yeah, and Snappy hoping to hear something or work this corner as well. He actually avoids the flashes, and it's Get Right caught there. Bit of a compromising position to be spotted out there. Freiburg at least can reply. Goes quite low in the process now as well. And Moddy, well, we saw Valde in that position getting cut down through smoke earlier on here. It seems NIP are ready to check and pre-fire that one quite happily. And now it's just 2 left. 5-7 and CZ remains for the 2 Team X players. And Glaive wants to fancy a bit of a peek here, but he's just going to tap away. Still lose the jewel though. Oh God. Couldn't even write this stuff. And Forrester back away as well, not really getting much damage done with that Tech 9, but enough at least to force Team X back.
Let's go Doppler. Just gonna be hanging around as well. We saw that previously Molly did try and go for that very sneaky sort of play when the bomb was down on B, and it was Disco Doppler again to be the one waiting for him there. So just gonna wait it out. Valde doesn't have much of a shot in this one. If you can get maybe a kill here, good stuff. Again, still looking for more. If you can get a gun away, that'd be pretty good. But I don't know if they're going to allow him to do it. Oh my god, Forrest missed the shot. It opened up a chance, but the Tech 9 still ready and waiting to be fallen back towards. Now the scoreline doesn't look too drastic if you actually kind of like just take a glimpse at it, but you look at the run it's been on, you consider the fact that, okay, Team X did pick up the pistol, they kind of went on the spree off the back of it.
Take those pistol rounds out and what he got.
Yeah, exactly, right? It does come down to the fact of a big swing, and these been starting to become quite clean rounds as well for NIP. That's a bigger problem. Their money is looking incredibly good. Exist and Forest pretty much becoming in the bank of NIP. They can just drop out whatever they
buy
need
for
to.
the rest of the half.
Exactly. And we've finally got a double AWP though, actually, for Team X, so that could be quite nice to see it in sort of play. Glaive now going to be picking up this position. Jeremy Valde's been playing there, so again, a little bit of a different piece coming out. Get Right, though, doing a little bit more of a classic style for him, just kind of playing that lurking position, wait and see if that short aggression comes through. Does he get any, does he hear the boosts coming out? What information can he gather here for the NIP boys? And it completely cuts off Team X finding any rotates or push-outs from that B site.
I like how Henry talked about as well yesterday, being a lurker or an IGL that sort of goes out in front as well and gets information. Because less of an input lag when you want to give a bit of info across there. Glaive, unfortunately, missing out of some of the info himself there. Timing wasn't with him.
If Get Right had waited 10, 20 more seconds, that could have been 2 kills there as well. That's, timing does come down to being everything here. Freiburg, I think, is actually becoming a little, maybe aware of a couple of steps he's heard, spraying in towards it, showing there's still presence here. And they're going to isolate eventually Snappy and possibly Freeze if he doesn't fall back from this. They have no one really actively holding long. Again, this Modi just jump spotting, so they don't have that real presence. That means that Snappy's got to be careful. Again, timing comes down. He could be caught up here. He could be closed in on, and the pinch could be very unfavorable. But last time Freeze did hit the shot.
Not much to hit when you can't see a thing there as well. Snap, again, manages to make light of that little corner spot there as well. A slight tweak in his positioning from that round prior where he got the pistol kill, but still works really well. And this now just going to take the wind out of NIP's sails as Forrest. He will fall as well. Just towards the end there, Modi with USP. Yeah,
great positioning them from Freeze. I think he just found a really nice spot around the smoke and played it incredibly well. So yeah, that was actually very enjoyable to watch. From my perspective. So you finally see a bit of a difference coming through. It seems like it's just a complete whitewash. NIP were just going through the motions by that point, but now finally we actually see a little bit of a turnaround. Maybe just even having that double AWP just really paid off mentally from, it didn't seem to have any other impact from that, but this is a different piece now from NIP.
Yeah, I mean, Glaive's positioning really didn't lend him to getting too many kills here, but there you go. Smoke comes in here towards toilet block.
This is the thing that I like about this map. The higher skybox allows so much more creativity to allow these plays. This feels very reminiscent of that 3-smoke play on Cobble that we see coming out from NIP on their T side. It allows these guys to get up close and personal. This seems like a far quicker A hit, but there's already 4 players here actually for the CT side. This isn't going to be an easy one to crack in towards.
Yeah, Freeze, and they're trying to pressure him as well by getting up in his face, but now Freeze is actually hitting the shots. This is where it really counts. Looking for Get Right, but peeks into that one as well. It's a bullet going straight for his dome, gives him a close shave, a bit of a reverse mohawk. And now have to back away as well. Still has to open some health, so that is a blessing in itself. And then NIP down to 2 players here as well. Would like to work on towards his side, but they're like utility, just the one smoke on Forest, and that's all they've got to work with.
And the problem is they know they have to take at least one straight up fight to even get a chance in towards this bomb site. And they're very... Oh, Forest!
What are you made of, my man? Exactly.
That was actually pretty nuts. Just following him back off the timing, that was so crisp from Forest. All right. I don't know if you can get any more though. You surely can't string this stuff together.
Reminds me of Michael Lilly's ridiculous shot on that Cache A side play last season. But, I mean, still, it's going to take a little more flashy plays to get it done and Get Right. Whoa, it's not pretty. It's just effective. He's getting the job done, getting his hands dirty, and Forrest comes in with another one as well. Now we have the 2v2. The bomb gets planted down, and Modi over towards the back of Bank. He's going to be throwing out that smoke early on here by the looks to try and set something up, but Get Right shuts down Glaive. Now it's a 1v2 or 1v1 even as the nade hits true. But the bomb is down. Get Right can peek into this one. Timing will be of the essence in just a moment now. Modi goes for the fake. Modi gets the shutdown. NIP inches away from stealing that one right out from under Team X. But Modi comes up with the goods in the end.
That was a 2-on-5. You cannot lose those. Okay, that first shot from Forest, you can't account for that, right?
Yeah.
That's something that can happen. However, the rest, like, let's watch this back.
He gets punished so badly here
and he knew he was going to step back into the side, right back through. That's That's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. The fact, though, that they were able to unravel that crossfire, a 3-player stacked crossfire, is massive. Again, however, Mori came through with the consistency. Geralt was incredibly low by that point. Very hard to work around for him. So back in we go. 7-7 now. It's becoming a bit of a close game. Quite exciting to watch. Geralt, though, looking for that early presence towards shore here. Not going to find much more, though. Glaive's waiting on the other side, expecting him to be peeking up from those sandbags.
He's lingering here as well, so you get right. Taking a bit more of a proactive role, perhaps, to his lurking here as well. Trying to at least get some information, get a read, even an early kill as Team X was setting up would have been nice, but he gets nothing for it. And now, again, back to his sort of default role here of just keeping his ears to the ground and the wall, essentially. Making sure he can keep tabs on Team X's movements here through the mid to late round as well. It's going to be very important for that information to be given across. Valde would like to, I guess, you know, remove him as well. He's going to be a problem if Team X are going to, I guess, make too much sound or give too much away here. In the meantime, the rest of NIP are split. There's a couple in toilet block there as well. You can see Disco Dopin being very diligent in checking all those corners and making sure it's a safe passage for NIP up along.
So, 3 players already on the site waiting. Team X just holding this one as it is. Not going to be rotating anyone early to either sort of side. They've been playing this sort of starting setup from the very beginning. The difference being, though, NIP are actually looking like they might want to hit B. They're selling a bit of a kipper here. Look at this. The smokes are going down. Forrest is showing presence. He's making sure they know he's there. And then look where all these guys are lining up. It's going to be just down pretty much to Glaive here. Forrest is actually doing damage. That's an even bigger threat. Now he's removing presence from there. Glaive has to deal with it all.
Oh, the fake is pretty darn nice, actually, as well. Yeah, Glaive is going to be in a bit of struggle town. A lot of...
It's a double fake.
Oh, my Lord.
With 15 seconds.
Forrest is still pressuring as well over 8. This has to be very, very quick, and there can't be anything that goes wrong here for NIP. Do they rotate back now? Because Forrest has messed things up over at this A side. He gets cut down, but it's just Valde left now as well. He will be found, and he will be dealt with accordingly here. 8-7 there for NIP. A hugely good run, of course, after the first few rounds being dropped away.
What depth do they have to bring? Do they have, a real variety to show us what they've got? That's what I'm looking forward to, and bearing in mind there's still that little bit of an ace up the sleeve that came out to play for NIP, which was Disco Doppler. He had a very bad T side on Cobble, then turned his performance around on the CT side. So hopefully for him, he fills that role a little bit now. He's on, what, 3-10?
Yeah. Will it be Disco Can't Stoplin or Disco Floplin? That's the real question. We did need to see more from him. It was really good last night, I thought. I was very impressed by him. I think as everyone was as well. I mean, you kind of see those players get hyped a lot, like a lot of Reddit clips as well.
Forrest okay, by the way.
Okay, then Snappy. I'm not really sure. Is this another RPK moment? That was great.
No, I'm going to hold it together. But yeah, NIP just walking out and taking fights. Why not? Forrest started off the round by just spinning around on top of the A-bomb.
As you do.
It's Forrest. You know what I mean? He's hitting shots through the bomb side itself. He might as well go for it. And Exist going to take the... Well, basically taking the peak quite deep there. Again, you can hit the shots. There's actually 3 players up there. If they peek around by that barrel, the USPS can do a lot of damage. You can back away pretty handily from it. Again, still holding Monster, still keeping information flying between the other players. And I don't think they've seen the bomb yet. I don't think they've seen Glaive just as of yet. And now Freeze actually finds Exist. This opens up opportunities. This opens up a big problem, considering that only Freiburg's really here. Disco Doppler is above, so he can watch some of this push-up, but pressure will be coming in now.
Yeah, like you pointed out, they hadn't actually seen the bomb yet or had seen Valde. Only a couple players were spotted, and that's why NIP didn't actually have that many resources committed to this B hole thus far. Bomb goes down, smoke up there as well, so Glaive just going to have to crab walk his way on out there and be able to abscond from the site fairly safely.
Look at the HP
Great
here,
damage on towards Freiburg there as well. And then Forrest can get right, not looking much better at all. Still, though, they can do damage. Put the gun in the man's hand. It doesn't matter how much he's limping as long as he hits shots like that one. It's going to be Forrest to clean up on towards Glaive. And that's a bit of a worrying sign here, I think, if you're Team X as well. They managed to get themselves a small round buffer last half, Lauren, by winning that pistol and getting those first few rounds. This is a good start for NIP.
Yeah, they were incredibly low on HP there. Those Glocks could have done so much more, but that seemed like a bit of a weird round. Again, though, NIP showing some real presence on B very early on, pushing out, getting that first pick, falling back in. It's going to put Team X on a bit, I wouldn't say a bit of a tilt, no, but it's going to be annoying to deal with. Get right going to be doing that smoke all the way down deep towards Monster. It should allow, early presence. It means you can just lock it out nice and quickly. The player who actually goes B like Exist doesn't have to worry about doing that sort of thing. However, that molly coming in indicates Team X is going to be going for a hit off the back of this, and they are. Glaive already barrels in. Exist has to deal with many players coming forward and already does exactly that. Valde and Glaive get picked up.
Yeah, tenuous stuff from Exist to start with. They're a little bit desperate, but he does manage to master himself and his aim after a short period of time. Now the bomb goes down. It's again daylight robbery here for Team X. Look at the bomb goes down. They're nowhere to be seen there as well, but a Molotov will cut them off from short now as well. It's either pushed through or let the bomb be defused in due time. Now as Freeze goes down, so the presence for Team X is all concentrated in one area. They've got to push, they've got to challenge, and it's not going to be enough. Snappy Force right on back here as well. Bomb will be defused before he can intervene.
And have they got plants in both rounds now, and they forced up in the second?
Yep.
Okay, Team X.
Yeah, I know, right? It's interesting force. But again, I mean, yeah, they managed to get these plants in. We were talking about NIP having this sort of aggressive, lightning fast B execute where they get the bomb down, but that's the second round in a row we've seen it from Team X there as well. I mean, it's well, you get the bomb down, right? But you're ultimately trying to win that round, and they seem just to fall apart in the afterplant scenario.
Yeah, the problem being is, look at the advantage NIP's now going to have. They're going to be able to keep these UMPs, get a huge buffer of money as well, which means their economy's going to become far more robust than I can imagine Team X would have wanted by now. I don't know. If they can get another plant out, it'll be impressive, but it's not going to equate to much more. I very much doubt this is going to be a big round win for Team X. They shouldn't be able to get away with too much here either. Again, all that spray is going to do so much damage. Forest with such control here. This is gorgeous stuff from him. He does end up falling to Modi. However, one of the UMP players can switch that out, pick up the M4 again, and that's perfectly fine. So look at the money. Let's just take stock of this. 9.6k already on Disco Doppler. These guys are so well set. Exist up on 7k. Forest just below that.
That's 3 rounds.
Yeah, this is a lot of money to be having already very early on. It means that the buys are going to be absolutely perfect. They're actually going to stick on the UMPs as well.
Yeah, I mean, seen quite a few teams do this, really, even when they know they're playing into teams with the AKs as well. It's very efficient, good bang for buck, I guess, weapon if you're talking about the UMP. Yeah,
and both of them were playing on the B side, so maybe that's just a way they're going to approach it. I'm not sure how they actually plan to do much with them. Again, the UMPs aren't bad. They can still do work against armor.
It has like rifle level penetration, doesn't it? Or quite high penetration of its class.
For an SMG, yeah, it does have incredibly high pen against armor.
And Freiburg now, we saw that spot used a lot on the other side by Get Right last half.
And this is something that I actually quite enjoy about NIP as well, that we saw a little bit actually on the CT side from Team X, but nowhere near as much as what we're already seeing here. Is they kind of completely forgo toilets, and then they have that 2-stack on long. You've got Forest kind of being allowed to be played into by Disco Doppler. That's pretty much all it is. It's going to be tough for Freeze to unravel this, because Forest comes into gear off the back of the contact with Disco Doppler, or hearing an early shot towards the tree. So this is quite a nice piece. Again, it's very hard for Team X to read into this, but if you walk into an already aiming or Forest, that's not going to go too well for you.
I mean, I guess Forest was thinking Freeze fires off a couple pot shots and then just completely ignores it and gives up. But I like that Freeze came back there as well and just gave it another look.
How has Freiburg got here? Can we appreciate what he's doing right now? He is behind so many players now. Okay, Freeze is round the back. He's got a very short lifespan, but the point being now is they've done the damage, they've got the information, and Freeze is left in a 1v3.
I think Modi wasn't spotted there. I think Modi was in underpass. He just didn't spot Freiburg. I think the timing was off for him there as well. So Freiburg gets up behind, and that's just a little gap, I guess, in the lineup there for Team X, which ended up being a huge chink in their armor. Freiburg just comes in, derails the whole shebang, and it's 12-7. It's 5 rounds to the favor of NIP so far in this half, and it's not looking any better for Team X. That was the buy round last round. They made very little happen with that money.
And again, this is the problem. They're not building up that money at all. That second round coming back in on the Tech 9s is really biting them in the arse here. Again, the smoke comes out. Let's see what Team X have. It's not looking pretty, let's put it that way. Forest could have been caught out there if they were maybe instantly going up from underpass. They're looking to try and do that, trying to pressure him, but that molly is so well placed, it buys him time. He can back away and hold a new angle with the AWP. So Glaive looking for other options. Freiburg spots it out. Molly goes down. It's wherever they go, they're being met by sheer fire.
Yeah, that's right. Well read into by NIP as well. They're more than happy to expend this utility to keep Team X at bay, make them frustrated, make them feel as if they're running out of time, which they in reality are, and force them into making a mistake. And they're going to sit back and kind of just wait for that to happen here. You can see the smoke there up on that corner. Looks like a boost attempt there as well. Glaive just wants to peek out and get a bit of air there as well. Disco Doppler goes very low from the presence on towards long, and now this is Team X starting to converge, making this pincer maneuver actually happen. Forrest is caught out with nothing but a USP in his hands, and these Tech 9s are doing work. Get Right now has to stand tall here, but Modi cuts him down in the underpass of Bank, and Freiburg responds here, but 2 players up against 3 is a Molotov there, Freiburg as well. I don't think he does want Freiburg's with that bomb down, and Valde is low, so the challenge here for Freiburg's going to have to come in quick.
All right. This is a really cheeky bomb plant, but kind of dangerous because he can sit in the cover, but he's going to be found out by Freeze in the end. Good positioning from him, but making something out of nothing there for Team X. That round looked all but done. They were being herded left, right, and center. The information was flowing, but as soon as they got up close and personal, they were actually landing the shots. Yeah,
as soon as Team X was staved off of that B side as well, they made a really nice, very mobile, fast pincer maneuver over on towards A as well. I like that they come from the toilet block and from long. The pressure onto Disco Doppler as well, who I think had an AWP, got cut down by a Tech 9 at 100 paces or so, and that pressure was on from there.
Who doesn't like the pistols in CSGO, Mitch?
I love the pistols in CSGO. You know who else loves them? Halvor. Vendetta loves pistols in CSGO.
It's the easiest way to trigger him.
Oh.
It's just so easy. It's fantastic.
It's great. It's a great way if you do just want to sit and listen to obviously someone talk about CS as well. Just throw it at him as well, and he'll be at your phages as well. Gets real sardonic and sarcastic about it. I love it.
Okay, so Team X coming into this one. Let's see what they're doing here, because already quite an incredibly passive start. Maybe expecting some CT-sided aggression. There has been certainly toyed with by NIP so far, but realizing that may not be the case. Glaive has gone and kicked up the pace by some margin. Having a bit of a leering towards those toilets areas, but actually Disco Doppeln and Forest aren't far away. So again, keeping yourself just in check and not overextending. You can go for the boost here, have a little peek towards short if they fancy it. There it is. Just have a little look over. No one pushed out. Hyper aware that there is often quite a chance there for the CT side of NIP to actually go looking for these sort of spots. So again, look how deep the NIP guys are playing, barring Doppeln and Forest.
Again, same for last round as well. They just got kind of picked apart at range by Tech9s of all things. So still need to be aware. Maybe a bit of proactivity from NIP may pay dividends here. I like this position from Forest. So he can dismantle that three-man stack up on the corner, and they're trying to get peaks or boost each other up. This is a very aggressive position for Disco Doppeln though as well. Very far forward for him.
Yeah, and he's holding the flag for Forest. Forest, though, does actually excel in his position. He gets the support he needs, but Snappy is in the position to make it hurt. He can try and pressure Forest left or right, and actually, you wish the first shot, Forest adjusts better. That's the caliber of player you have on this NIP side. You can pull that sort of play off. Again, Team X played it well. It was exploitable. Disco Doppeln didn't have the best of angles there, and he got overwhelmed.
Does Disco Doppeln have to stand so far forward to watch that angle, or can he do it from the side?
Well, Freeze was watching it further back. It's just a really kind of thin angle you have to hold. But I feel you fall in that trap sometimes of really wanting to support your teammate as much as you can. So you kind of overcommit, and you give yourself the chance to be pretty much exploited instantly, unless you hit like incredible shots back to back, which is it's tough to do. Again, Team X were flashing and pressuring that to remove him from it. He's always going to be at a disadvantage in that sort of mental state where they're going to be playing already with the assumption that there's someone going to be there. But looking at Team X now, they're going back in on this.
I mean,
I guess you have to at this point.
Yeah, the money distribution is really weird as well. Is it Freeze and Snappy had like 10k between them? I think Valde, Modig, and Glaive had 6k. So, I mean, you just can't try and force around this AWP and AK. I mean, you're running out of time if you're Team X here as well. And
let's just highlight right now. We've been we're singing the praise of Disco Doppeln previously to this game. It's actually been Freiburg who's been consistently stepping up here as well. He has been pretty much at the forefront, whether it be top frag or not. He has been an incredibly integral role for NIP, which is very, very refreshing to see. However, into this round, this is a bit of a last-ditch attempt coming in for Team X. They're facing a bit of a heavy scoreline here, and again, it's going to be Exist on the other side. Molly goes down. That's going to warm this one up.
God.
That's going to hurt.
Oh God, it's like Salem all over again. There's just one man left. It's Freeze just out behind the smoke. The rest of his team just gives themselves up as burnt offerings. Let's hope they get something good for it here this next round, because they're damn well going to need it.
Ouch. Absolutely ouch. That's not a way you want to go down. He ended up only getting one with the M4 to start with, and the 2 Molly kills coming back to back. That sucks for Team X. And now 14-8. They're very much on that precipice of going in towards that infamous kind of final throw of things here. The Tech9 buy comes back out. These guys seem to be completely opposed to kind of foregoing rounds here. We've seen the consistent buy up throughout this game from them, and Forest and Disco Doppeln have a great read on this. They're going in for the peak, but it's an instant trade out actually. At least Forest with a massive amount to handle. He does it again. He comes up with a good sub consistently. He's being pressured. He predicts it too. Glaive absolutely ruined. This pair of Forest and Disco Doppeln is really nice actually in the last couple rounds. And then obviously if Disco does get picked off at long range, well, Forest just picks up the AWP and uses it himself. He's quite capable of doing that. Great way to take the guts out of Team X who are trying to set up here. So that Force gets nothing. Now it's a Scout, it's Tech9s, as much utility as they can pack, and this is match point here for NIP. Oh, 15-8. Team X, what happened? You had so much promise on that T side. We theory crafted that there could be something really enjoyable to come through from this one. It's just really not stepped up. NIP
wishful more than anything, I suppose, from us.
It does feel as though that's been the case. It's going to be down to Freiburg and Forest to make that first contact. Freiburg with the AWP.
Yeah, okay. Crazier things have happened, I suppose.
He's like, please take it away from me, Forest.
Yeah, I'm done with this. I'm out ski. I mean, Forest actually passed it to him at the end of the last round, I think, or maybe he died. No, Freiburg picked it up in underpass, that's why. So he starts off with it, doesn't get much done with it there as well. Oh, mate, Adam hoping for a bit of a highlight clip, and Forest gets it done as well. Maybe a good decision to hand the AWP back over to this guy. And now steps forward at the smoke here as well. This is risky, slightly isolated. Has to back away through, but Glaive catches him with a Tech 9 through the smoke. Now we'll see some aggression come off the back of that for Team X. That's the starter's gun going off here as well, but Get Right, expertly positioned there as well. Moves one down. It's got to be a vert nade as well. The nerdy nade is real. Get Right.
Into the molly.
Yeah, as you do. Okay, fair enough. I mean, not the prettiest way, but now it's a 2v2. Valde's cut down there as well after getting on towards Get Right. It's just Modi left. The bomb is actually back towards Long here as well. He's been cut off from it. That's done. That's done.
I don't see this happening for Modi. He's got to go incredibly big to pull this one off. He does have the molly at least still, but Exist, he's aware this could be a possibility. He's positioning for it. They're going to all posture towards this side of the map, make Modi come back into it, not have the advantage on the peak. And Exist is watching this like a hawk. This should be Exist shutting it down, and it will be. There it is, NIP picking up map 2.
And it is a bit of a shame, Lauren, as well, because there were high hopes for us coming in to looking at Team X as well. They are very much a hard team to read over the last couple of days, I think it's safe to say. I mean, yeah, NIP looking pretty good tonight as well.